Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Ask a Scientist Gaming, where we combine mediocre gameplay with expert science. I'm Ken Hansen, a professor in the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry at Florida State University. I'm a photochemist slash photophysicist. I shine light on molecules and materials and try to figure out what happens to that light energy, and ultimately use that light energy to do useful things like targeted making and breaking bonds, converting photon energy into mechanical force, or maybe generating electricity, whatever it might be. But more importantly, joining me today is Dr. Bryce Morsky. Bryce, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself.
Sure. My name is Bryce. I'm an assistant professor at Florida State University in the Department of Mathematics. I do mathematical modeling, biomathematics, modeling human behavior, spread of disease, kind of a hodgepodge of different things. Usually with differential equations, and often there's some game theory thrown in there.
Nice. Which classes do you typically teach?
I mean, all the standard math ones, calculus, but I also teach game theory and mathematical modeling.
Which undergrad classes?
Game theory.
That's an undergrad. Okay.
Yeah, it's a split undergrad / grad course.
Oh, that's fun.
In evolution of game theory.
Very cool. All right. Equally important. What game are we starting with?
Oh, we're starting with Star Wars Battlefront II.
Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yes.
So this goes back to a childhood favorite.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've played this.
All right, we're going to skip over everything and we're going to jump to the gameplay because we have a save state.
Yeah, I think I'm almost dead.
No, this is at the we're at the starting.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So I have a chance. Yeah, I used to play this quite a bit, and you would get better as you got enough rewards, and they would stick with you next time you played the game. So I mean, all the easier.
I'm going to change the volume a little bit. It's a little bit loud. Sorry.
No problem.
Capture on screen. All right, you're good. All right, so you played this on the PlayStation 2.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
So heads up, anyone that's trying to run emulators for PlayStation, so PCSX 2 is what we're using to run this game, and we're doing it with a PlayStation 3 controller, actually. I don't know if you can tell a difference, but it seems like a similar layout.
Yeah, I can't tell the difference.
But yeah, it turns out plugging in an Xbox controller into Microsoft software works out great. Plugging in a PlayStation controller is a much harder challenge. And so I had to troubleshoot that this week, but we got it to work. It works with the PlayStation 3 DualShock controller, so that's working. Background input isn't working, so if you see Bryce standing still, it's probably my fault. He is not just stroking out or failing at the game. It is me screwing up his gameplay because I click on my screen. Because I don't know how to do background inputs. If anyone in chat knows how to do background inputs in the PCSX2 emulator, please let me know. We would gladly do that. Oh, that's fun. Now you're off to Darth Maul.
Yes.
I didn't see that transition.
If you get enough kills, you.
So Star Wars Battlefront is like one of the all-time favorite Star Wars games, if I'm remembering correctly.
Oh, yes, it is.
Like people are yearning for a remake of this. The new games just are not the same. Holy cow, that's loud again. All right, gotta strike a balance between our voice volume and the gameplay volume. All right, so is it coming back to you? Is this is as you remember it?
Kind of, I think.
It's all we aspire.
I can't turn around very, very quickly, so there's something I'm not doing right about that. But
oh, interesting. Like the sensitivity might be too low.
No, I think I just don't remember the controls. It's not going.
I would search for them, but then you'd be standing still.
No, this is.
All right, before we dive into questions from the chat, and feel free to throw your questions in chat, we'll address them as we go along, but the one we like to start with is a classic. It's classic because we do it every single stream, and one of the main reasons we do it is undergrads seem to think we were like destined for this job. But I cannot imagine 6-year-old Bryce was sitting there thinking, someday I'll be playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 while talking about my expertise in applied mathematics and modeling economic and biological systems. And so a 6-year-old you had visions of what he was going to be, and those visions changed over time. And so, do you remember what those moments were, those transitionary moments where it was like, I like this, I focus more on this? Like, in retrospect, what were those key steps?
I've jumped around quite a bit with things I wanted to do.
So let's start with 6-year-old you. What did you want to be?
Paleontologist.
All right.
I know that. Since I was 4, I wanted to be when I was 4, I wanted to be a paleontologist.
That's awesome. So science are early.
Yeah, science quite early. But I also liked fiction quite a bit. So I jumped around I definitely knew I always wanted to go to university, and but I started in physics, and went to biology, and then I considered doing literature. And part of the reason why I did math was because I'd be able to graduate in time. At the time, I thought that was a good reason.
Yeah, it's like I have this many credits, I need a few more.
So all it was is that the Bachelor of Arts required a language, and I couldn't fit it in the schedule. So like, all right, well, I can do math, because I was a bio major, and I was doing more advanced math and classes and literature classes for fun. Well, maybe I should be doing this. Yeah, and then what ended up happening is I took some economics classes for fun once near the end of my degree, and I thought, oh, I should do an economics degree too, because I have all these extra electives, and I can get a second degree. So I ended up doing the language one anyway. And then I did an undergrad thesis in economics, but it was entirely related to biology and game theory. I found a great advisor who was willing to do something he didn't know anything about. Because I showed up with a variety of just random topics I thought were interesting. And I was like, oh, I have some interest in evolution and game theory, though I don't know anything about it. So if I could be your advisor, then I'm good with that. I was like, sure. Wow. Did that, and then I looked in economic programs, grad school, and I didn't really want to do any of those things. And RP frozen. Yeah, I didn't really want to do any of those. And then I discovered evolutionary game theory, and I didn't even realize I didn't realize it was in it's called mathematical biology and taught in departments of math. And so then how can I go back? All right. I feel like I'm distracted. So
that's part of the fun. Wait till you're like 3 drinks in.
Great. Yeah. Then I switched sides. It's gonna confuse me. I'm gonna shoot my own people.
No, you're the baddie. I guess you're the good guy.
I'm not sure who's good or bad. Then I was like, oh, this is a program I can do. Do something in the math department.
Program? Or that was
Masters first.
Masters
and
first.
I cold emailed people in math departments that did stuff on evolution of cooperation, because that was my undergrad thesis.
Yeah.
I didn't know at the time. I didn't even know how to code, but I learned how to code in Java of all things to run these simulations. And I found, oh yeah, this is a whole area of research. People look at, so what they do is they consider the Prisoner's Dilemma. This is a great model for evolution of cooperation, or cooperation in general. And
Mace Windu. That's fun.
Yeah, Mace Windu.
Samuel L. Jackson makes an appearance.
Yeah, so rationally, people shouldn't cooperate in Prisoner's Dilemma. Like, this is right where we get caught for a crime. We're separated into different rooms, and we can rat each other out or not. If we could just remain quiet, maybe they have to release us that night. Mm-hmm. If we rat each other, if I rat you out, then they let me off right away. Don't have to wait any there at all. And but if we both do it, then they put us away for a while. And the socially optimal thing is if we can both just be quiet, but the incentive is to cheat, right? And so everyone should cheat. is the game theoretical analysis, but you see a lot of cooperation in reality, in real life, and in biology too. So it's not just like morality that's making people do it. Ooh, I'll show my own guy. So why is this? And it turns out there's a lot of mechanisms to promote cooperation.
And so this topic in general spoke to you as an undergrad.
Yeah, it spoke.
As a master's, you got to do it full time.
Yeah, it spoke to me as undergrad. It was, and I just thought it'd be an interesting topic to do. So like, let's do this. And then I was cold emailing professors in math departments about potentially working together, and they're all great about it. Eventually, someone, got me what happens, I contacted someone, they responded, we don't have that much overlap, but, we have this workshop, so University of Alberta, you should come out here and, learn about more math biology and help you maybe make up your mind of what you want to do and things like that. I'm like, okay, that's great. And then a couple of weeks later, she emailed me again and said, I was talking about you with a colleague of mine. And this is someone I just emailed. She just doesn't know who I am. Mm-hmm. And, he works at the intersection of biology and economics, and you might be a good fit. And so I contacted that person, and that became my advisor.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, they're great. And so there was an application of this evolution of cooperation to disease spread. You can think of whether you vaccinate or not as, whoops, sorry, buddy. You can think of it as also like a tragedy of the commons. So imagine there is some cost to vaccinate, perceived or real. Almost killed an old guy. Yes, there's some cost to vaccinating, either perceived or real. Mm-hmm. Now, if enough of us vaccinate, we're protected. That's great.
Yep.
But if everyone else vaccinates, then I don't have to pay that cost. But everyone has that same incentive to cheat, and so you can avoid it. That can prevent you from reaching herd immunity. But often you find voluntary vaccination policies are successful in stopping the spread of disease. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So that's what I worked on in my master's. Basically, if you imagine individuals are embedded on some network, then even if the disease is rare, there's I died. Even if there's few people who are sick, for those who are close to the people who are sick, risk is high. And so then they vaccinate and prevent the spread to other people. So this dilemma can be overcome by heterogeneous risk. And so I did that, and then I continued working with him in my PhD, and was doing evolution of modeling and natural selection, and social group formation and things like that. And then I was doing first postdoc was evolutionary control theory. That was the idea. But so what we were doing is we're trying to model. So you have public goods games amongst bacteria and in tumors. So what these cells can do is they can secrete something that benefits either the bacteria or the tumor as a whole at a cost themselves. Well, everyone else benefits from it. The tumor cells. So they have an incentive to not, they could not produce it, get the benefit, then outcompete the people the cells. I'm not very good at this multitasking.
You're doing great.
They're not good at. Basically, the cheaters can outcompete them because they're not paying the cost. And then of course, then everyone should cheat. Then you don't have the public good you've been producing. Yeah. So we modeled that. But I think it was really in my that first postdoc when I really realized definitely I wanted to do this, become a professor as a career. But part of the reason why I chose applied math is because I like a lot of things, and I thought I could dabble in a lot of things by doing it.
Yeah. That's the reason we go into academia, right? We get the flexibility to pursue whatever. So I guess the alternative would have been going to economics, like trading, programming. What would have been the backup?
I don't know. I looked into. I don't know. If I took a literature degree, I don't know what I would end up.
Who knows where you would have landed?
Yeah.
Fair.
I did do a little bit, some. I got some designations actually in finance, for like there's a Canadian securities course and Canadian investment manager. I wouldn't take my advice for anything.
Not an advice stream, ladies and gentlemen.
Right, but I got those designations, so I thought, maybe I want to do this.
Yeah.
I lost.
So what was the defeat there? What was the task?
So we had to get all those centers, forts, whatever they're called, for my team.
I see.
But I didn't, and also I think we all died.
That's fair. And if I remember correctly, this was like a multiplayer online. You could play against each other too.
I don't think I ever played it online, but I would, play it with my brothers and friends.
That's fun. All right, Misadventures in Astro, welcome back. Yo, indeed. Thank you for joining us as usual. We're hanging out, talking applied mathematics, modeling economic and biological systems. Yeah, if you have questions, we're playing a little bit of Star Wars Battlefront II. Yeah, it's fun. You get to play both sides. You get to be good. And bet Misadventures has redeemed Take a Drink. So they've spent their internet points on forcing us to consume alcohol on a Wednesday night. Cheers. Misadventures, hopefully you have a drink in hand. We are drinking some old fashions tonight. I'm going to put the command in there quick so you guys can check it out. A little bit of bourbon plus some bitters plus a little sugar. I mean, it's a nice combination. How do you feel about this? This is Woodruff bourbon?
Good. I don't think I'm that much of a connoisseur. A connoisseur.
I mean, I love when people respond with like, this is what I want to drink, because it's like, I'll have an IPA. That doesn't help me. There's many IPAs, but like yeah, I appreciate a specific drink. So this takes you through a few different of the storylines.
Yeah, let's try it.
Yeah, Rise of the Empire. Let's do it. But yeah, Misadventures, hopefully you have a drink in hand. Cheers if you do. Thank you for joining us. Throw your questions in chat. We're talking applied mathematics, modeling complex systems using, well, game theory and evolution game theory.
Systems of differential equations.
Yeah, I mean, so if you're talking to the general public, so I can readily explain to someone fitting a straight line with y equals mx plus b. But you're talking about like modeling, like putting equations to complex decision making and these really multivariable systems. And so how does one go about doing that? What does that look like to the layman?
Yeah, it's actually a very creative process because you're trying to understand how a system operates. And sometimes you can sketch it out, like actually sketch it out by drawing something. This variable should affect this other state or something like that. And then you'll put it in the language of mathematics, often differential equations, but other things you can do. I don't remember what I'm supposed to be doing. I think I just gotta go where the yellow thing is.
Yeah, you guys will have to let me know if the volume's too loud. We're switching through a few different systems today, so yeah, I can't promise we'll be on top of it, but if it's too loud, let me know. We'll take care of it. I mean, so you've applied that to things like economics and mathematics and biological systems. Do you ever find yourself just like randomly in your day-to-day life? Like if you were going to play World of Warcraft, would you start modeling things with differential equations? Have you ever found yourself like using it at home?
I don't know if I use it at home, but I definitely do think in terms of not so much differential equations, but game theory. And it's interesting. So the first time I taught evolutionary game theory, I was surprised by how many students thought it was irrational and didn't like the theory, right? So the theory is, you assume individuals are rational. Well, not evolutionary game theory, but game theory you do. And, individuals just want to maximize their fitness, their payoff. They're entirely selfish. And I'm so used to thinking of things this way, right, and setting it up that it doesn't seem strange to me at all. But I had students who really had a problem with it. It's like, well, but you shouldn't defect. You shouldn't cheat because it's immoral. They didn't like that I was, the theory says this is what you should do.
Yeah.
So maybe that's not a good thing. That's permeated my thinking.
They want to believe we're better than that. We're not. Spoilers. All right. Cuddle Puppy has a question. This is a fun one. Applied versus not applied mathematics. Is non-applied mathematics where you do all the calculations and hide the results in a filing cabinet for eternity? It's obviously a joke, but you fall under the applied umbrella, and then there's what is it? Foundational, fundamental?
Well, the pure math.
Pure math.
But I think it's it's more of a gradient between them. I mean, I have, colleagues who are pure mathematicians, and what I'm doing is not math to them. And then I would have biologists who would be like, "This is not biology."
Yeah. The unfortunate but in between.
And then even the stuff that I do, we can look at these models in a variety of different. No, that's not it. Oh, there it is. We can approach them in a variety of different ways. They can be pretty abstract, and you could be trying to understand abstract things about them. Mm-hmm. They could use real data. I often don't. They could be simulation studies, and so most of it is you're writing code, and you're simulating it, and you're not using any kind of like advanced mathematical techniques to analyze the system. Or it could be very like proof and theorem and proof type of applied math. So there's just a variety of ways of approaching it. From my point of view, I want to use whatever method is right to answer the questions and the problem I'm interested in.
Mm-hmm. I mean, so if you had to define pure mathematics, then is that not addressing a particular problem, or?
I mean, it is addressing particular problems, but it's much more abstract about mathematical objects, just more of it abstractly.
That's fair. And you guys share all the results, all the proofs, everything end up in papers and not locked in cabinets for eternity, presumably?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, you want to get, tenure, and you want to get your position, so you have to be publishing, so try to publish as much as I can.
God, this is a brutal fight. Holy cow.
I think I don't think I have to continue to fight the thing I'm fighting.
So you just keep reappearing as new clones until...
Yeah, but there's only 7 of us left.
Oh, all right.
So we might be doomed.
As long as you're having fun. But Cuddle Puppy, welcome back. It's been a while. Thank you for joining us. Cuddle Puppy, how do you respond to people who say economics isn't science? Feel free to use as many swear words as necessary. Do you consider economics a science?
I guess. I feel like on a lot of these things, I'm not a partisan.
Mm.
I'm yeah, like I don't have strong feelings about it. Well, yeah, I don't have strong feelings about that part of it. But I do have some problems with economics.
In general, I mean, that's fair. The Cuddle Puppy, I will follow up with, the Nobel Prize in Economics is not a real Nobel Prize. So take that. Which is actually true. Not in Alfred Nobel's win. It's made in honor of Alfred Nobel, and it's given elsewhere. So it is a Nobel Prize week. Kind of. It's the Monday after, but technically not a Nobel Prize. But I don't have stronger feelings about economics.
Yeah, I was. So I'm doing this project on coupling the spread of disease as well as how it affects unemployment and how it affects active people being active in the gig economy. And so I've had to learn a lot of economics to do this and learn how they model unemployment. And I'm skeptical. I'm probably not the person to talk because I'm just going to talk about it because I'm just very skeptical about the model. They assume a lot of things, like, people are hyper rational and they're very forward, thinking, and it just seems really not realistic. Another problem is like wages are continuously being renegotiated every day between employer and employee.
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't think I don't think that happens. But it's the way these models are done, so I learned it to do it right, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, so is that a scenario where there's a difference between like a top-down and a bottom-up approach? Like you're much more bottom-up, right, from the mathematics as fitting things, whereas they might take the empiricism and just try to reason it from there? Or how would an economist think differently than a mathematical economist?
So big differences between us is they're often looking at equilibria. So like, what are the equilibria? And we're very interested in how you move to equilibria and stability of equilibrium, things like that. So the transient period of dynamics. So I would generally want to write things as some system of differential equations, find all the equilibria and study their characteristics. Are they stable? Are they unstable? Are there cycles? Like what kind of things can happen that way? Well, economists, usually we're assuming we're at equilibrium and don't look at the path towards it as much. And also assume a lot of rationality, which is, I guess, what game theory does too. But evolutionary game theory instead, so the way evolutionary game theory works is you have a set of individuals that just follow some strategy, kind of blindly. And then there's just survival of the fittest. So whichever one has the best fitness, most payoffs, they survive. Individuals are not rational. And so that's quite a bit different. And there's a lot of overlap between the two. How do I jump? There's overlap between the two. Like the Nash equilibrium is going to be related to the equilibria in evolutionary game theory.
Wait, can you jump in that robot that was back there?
I think I can. Oh, let's try. Oh, someone else took it. Thanks.
You lose.
If I can kick him out.
Yeah.
Get on my. I can't.
Oh, look at that. All right, now we're gaming. Oh, Pierce Cuddle Puppy agrees with you, by the way. Well, yeah, but it was never going to have credibility because they only give it to laissez-faire or neoliberal economists. So do you keep track of the Nobel Prize in economics every year? Do you keep an eye on it?
No.
I love doing the one in chemistry because I'm usually teaching general chemistry and it's Wednesday. So Wednesday in class, I can be like, here's the Nobel Prize. Here's why I think it's merited or it's bullshit. So I get to rant to a captive audience. So yeah, Cuddle Puppy, thank you. I mean, it's a much harder award to give. Like, subjectivity seems much higher.
In your field? Or economics?
Like economics, right? Because it's, I don't know. That's how I view it, I guess. Same thing with literature and peace, right? The subjectivity becomes much higher than, say, this topical area has been cited this number of times. So how are you feeling about the game? You've played several levels. It's coming back.
It's coming back, but it's definitely taking all of my attention not to die.
Yeah. Would your brother be happy or disappointed in your gameplay?
Neutral.
Oh, the good old days.
Well done, man. Now we need to make some space for General Mundi to land. Take out those turrets and clear the deck.
Okay.
And it is a fun. I like the third-person shooter like this. I played a lot of first-person shooters, like Halo was my go-to game. But I do like the over-the-shoulder style. Oh, there we go. You got a turret. But yeah, if you guys have any questions for Bryce, he's happy to answer them about applied mathematics. But speaking of game theory and decision-making, so 3 weeks ago, my guest on the stream was Christian Hubicki from Mechanical Engineering. He does like robotics and things like that. But he was also on season 37 and season 50 of Survivor. I don't know if you're familiar with the show Survivor. Put a bunch of people on an island, a bunch of different contests. And one of the things he talked about doing is he wants to do some kind of, I don't know, some kind of regression analysis where you model people and challenges and all sorts of things. And it seems like it falls under your umbrella of game theory, right? Have Have you ever thought about these shows? I mean, assuming they're real and not entirely scripted, is there any interest in modeling those types of systems?
I don't know. Yeah, might be interesting. Like, what's the optimal strategy, or just how people behave? I guess that's not the same thing.
Well, I guess what we were talking about is if you could take season 51 and make a prediction of who's going to win. Because there's certain, like, character tropes, right? Personality traits, and then they have challenges. And it's like, you don't want the strongest to go, but you don't want to vote them off right away. Because if you're the strongest, then you're next. Like,
Right.
there's a lot of game theory decision making. At least that's how he described it. I mean, he's been on the show.
Yeah, I think there is. You have to be careful with game theory and what it recommends, because it isn't always reflective of how people actually behave. Actually, usually it's not. People don't behave as game theorists say they should behave.
So you have modified different flavors of game theory to account for these variations?
Sure, yeah, definitely people do that. So they try to factor in things like that. So my own work does this. I model social norms, and essentially the way you do this is individuals get some utility that's from feelings, I guess. Like, if they conform to other people's behavior, they'll get some utility for doing that. And this guy's hiding on me. And that can really affect the outcome of the game. You can't just assume people have perfect information or perfectly rational.
On the SEP's energy collector, we have to penetrate their shield barricade. So load up and move out.
Okay, I have to get over there.
So one thing I wrestle with often in, like, particularly biological systems, and this is just the casual outside observer thinking about it, but, like, drawing the line between determinism and free will. And that's starting with a very extreme, but, like, when you're talking about modeling a biological system, if you take a human can make a conscious decision to get vaccinated or not.
Right.
But also you can apply all sorts of network theory to ants, which are for the most part, automated response to stimuli. Like, where's the boundary in decision making? How conscious does something have to be to apply these types of, game theory type models?
Well, you can really have anything in between, I suppose, from being hyper rational to being irrational. Sometimes I have a work with a student where we looked at. So the way it worked is individuals were potentially spiteful, and as long as they secured some minimum payoff to themselves, so up till then they would be rational. So they would just want to maximize. Rational means they just want to maximize their own payoffs, not necessarily minimize other people's.
And that's their own immediate payoffs.
Yes, yes, and but under these malicious players, once they secured some threshold amount, then their goal was to minimize their opponent's utility. So you can modify game theory to account for these sort of things. So I don't think it means that game theory is useless and that it has these, silly assumptions about how people actually behave. It's just we have to modify what we're doing. Here's some other examples, like divide the dollar. So imagine we have $1 and we have to divide it between the two of us. Or actually another version of this is ultimatum game. That's probably better. So there's $1 I have to suggest a division between the two of us. And then you either accept the division I've suggested, or you say no. We both get 0.
That's fun.
Now the rational thing is, as long as I give you a penny, you should accept it, because if you don't, you get no
0.
You get 0. So 1 penny's better than no penny. And if I offered you nothing, you should be indifferent. Yeah, it's the same either way. People don't behave that way. In fact, when they do experimental studies of this, the most you can get away with is about. The most you can get away with is about 35, 40%.
40%.
You're giving the other person and keeping the remainder for yourself.
Yeah.
You can't cheat them too much, or they would rather get nothing.
Just to spite.
Yeah.
That's amazing. 40% of the threshold, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you're going to negotiate.
Yeah. So if you're ever in that situation, you can keep 60% for yourself.
Yeah. Don't get greedy.
Game theory should say that you should be giving them a penny, and they will accept it.
Yeah.
Another example is interesting example is this volunteers dilemma, and it's often used to model things like climate change. So there's some catastrophe that may happen. It could also be a benefit. You can think of it another way too, but maybe it's a catastrophe, and it'll be avoided so long as but I think we almost won.
Oh, so you have to just check off all those achievements or all those goals.
Yeah, I just have to get this crystal back. Okay, so maybe we have to invest $100 to prevent this catastrophe from occurring.
Oh, what the hell?
I was almost there. There must be a way to run.
If anyone knows, Star Wars Battlefront II, can you run? Maybe one of the triggers or bumpers or something. Let me see. I'll look at them on my phone so I don't have to steal control from you.
It's fine. Anyway, so if we can spend money and we can avoid this catastrophe. Now, assuming the catastrophe is bad enough, the equilibrium is any combination that gets us to, say, $100, which is what we have to invest to prevent it. So I can give a dollar, you give 99, we go 50-50, any kind of combination like that.
So it says clicking the left stick, maybe pushing the left joystick in
All
while
right.
doing it might
I'll
do
try
it.
that.
Sorry, anyway.
So all those would be, so you have an infinite number of Nash equilibria. In reality, when they do experiments with this, the worst case scenario happens, right? Because the best case scenario, I guess, is okay. You invest $100, you prevent the catastrophe. You're like you are just at the threshold. Mm-hmm. If you're going to invest the other thing I should mention is that anything you invest over it is wasted. You didn't need to invest that to stop the catastrophe. Yeah. And if you are under the threshold, the money's still gone. It's still spent. And what happens is the worst case scenario, people are just below the threshold. They invest, $90 together because, you're like, well, I'll invest a little less than someone else will take up the slack, which doesn't happen. I did this with a party game once, actually.
That's a fun party game.
Yeah, I used to do these elaborate party games, and we had one for for an election. And we had a climate change game. So I gave everyone fake money at the beginning, and they could hand it out. They can use it for buying drinks and like a whole bunch of different things. Mm-hmm. But we also played that game, and I passed a hat around, and people could put in money, and they could say that they put in a little or a lot, and we had a threshold of say $200. If it isn't made, everyone has to take a shot. If it's made, no one has to, and it was like 175. It was just as not the game theory predicted, but as the experimentalists, like the people who actually work with real humans. Oh, so just as they had predicted.
So is that bad actors like, we're getting drunk tonight? Like they exist?
Yeah, I mean, I was one of them. Whatever, it's fine. And I had some other friends like, I don't want to do this.
And the people at this party presumably knew this was a game theory exercise, right?
Yeah.
And they still...
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's meta information. You know too much about the decision making. All right, Misadventures in Astro has redeemed to request a factoid. So do you have a knowledge bomb? You kind of just dropped one, but do you have another tidbit you want to drop on the audience?
I do. I have one called Sharkovsky's theorem. It's a really interesting one. There's some background on it first. So I've been talking about systems differential equations. It's sort of interesting that discrete systems often are kind of like more complicated. And a very simple discrete dynamical system is just, so let's say the state of some thing, so x at time t plus 1 equals some function f of x of t. A very simple example would be x of t plus 1 equals, say r times x of t multiplied by 1 minus x of t. This is a logistic equation. So what this theorem says is so long as that function f is continuous, so there are no breaks in it, I think that's the only assumption that's needed, then if it has I should also say an equilibrium point would be the scenario where x of t plus 1 or x of t equals f of x of t. So you get the same value and you just would stay there. So you won't ever change. And a periodic orbit will be the scenario where you move around. So let's say you're at 0.5, then it goes 0.7, and then 0.5. So it's a period 2 orbit. So you're going from 0.7 to 0.5, 0.7 to 0.5. You can imagine period 3 orbits, etc. So Sharkovsky's theorem says gives you an ordering of what kind of periods you can have, and it says that if you're to the right of this ordering, or wherever you are in that ordering, you have every period exists to the right of it. And the very first element in that ordering is a period 3 orbit. So if the system has a period 3 orbit, so it goes from 0.5 to 0.7 to 0.9, it could go 10, whatever, and it goes back to 0.5, the first value, then it has periodic orbits of any period, like 1,000,000,001, or like any number, anything, which is pretty amazing. The theorem is actually more specific than that. It gives this, like I was saying, there's this ordering. So if it has 3, it has everything. The next in the ordering is 5. So if it has a period 5 orbit, it may or may not have a period 3 orbit, but you definitely know it has everything to the right of it. So it's basically all the odd numbers, 3, 5, and continuing like that. And that goes on infinitely. And then the next ordering is 3 times 2, and then 5 times 2, 7 times 2, etc. And then it's 3 times 2 squared, 5 times 2 squared, etc. And so it just follows that pattern. And then it counts down from 2 to the power of whatever, down to 2 to the power of 0. It's a very strange ordering, and it's kind of amazing that simple system has that behavior.
So what was the name of that again?
Sharkovsky's theorem.
Sharkovsky's theorem, and that was to describe a real system, or that was just a pure math?
It's just it's just a theoretical thing, but it's just amazing that you can know that. So you can have this period 3 orbit, and then the system will have any period orbit, any.
That's fun.
And you get this from such a simple system. It's just, this is a one-dimensional, or it's a single variable system, single state variable, and this function f has to be continuous. That's it. It doesn't have to be anything crazy beyond that. A lot of the I've been doing a bit more of this now. A lot of these discrete systems are really interesting. I'm playing around with a model of natural selection. It's just a discrete system, and it uses a truncation selection. So basically, if a creature, the thing that's replicating, has a fitness below, is going to say the bottom, X% of the population, it's culled. If it's above that, it survives and it has offspring. But it doesn't matter how much above the threshold you are. Just you have the same number of offspring.
You just have to be good enough.
Yeah, so you're selecting for adequacy.
Yeah.
And
bare minimum.
Yeah, and
I like it.
It actually ends up having really complex dynamics. Chaotic dynamics, and also one thing is chaos is not random. It's just very sensitive to initial conditions. So if you have conditions that are very close together initially, you can get wildly different trajectories. And one way to understand this is, this was developed by some pure mathematicians, is this thing called kneading theory, where you just look at, you break up so let's say this map is operating on some interval, say the interval is 0 to 1. So you're just continually mapping you start on point between 0 and 1, you go back to a point on 0 and 1, this over and over and over again. And what you can do is your map, your function f, you can plot it, and you look at the critical points, the points where it's going to be changing from increasing, decreasing, and you break it up into laps, sections in which it's always increasing or always decreasing, and you label those laps. And then you think of orbits not as the numbers they're going from, like 0.2 to 0.8 or whatever. You think of like what lap they're in. So maybe so imagine like a bimodal map. So there's like two times it turns around. So say it's increasing, decreasing, increasing again. So you have 3 laps. Let's say left, center, and right. You can think of orbits now just as a sequence of symbols, like left, right, left, etc. And you can understand the system entirely that way. Really quite rigorously. It's really it's lovely.
And how many repetitions do you need to make a realistic model of some kind of behavior like that?
Oh, repetitions. Or you mean like
oscillations, like ups and downs?
I don't know. Whoops. I mean, making models, a big part of it is, I think I have the flag. A big part of it is, you go through many versions of models to figure out which is the correct one, which properly models the thing you want.
Yeah.
And because maybe the first model doesn't work or doesn't really cover what you want it to cover. Maybe it's not a useful way of thinking about it. There's multiple ways of modeling. Give an example of ants. So I have this model of we're trying to understand.
Whoa! What? Just one swing from the ant monster takes out a Jedi. This game's so unrealistic.
Maybe I want to have.
Oh, interesting. The troopers have different traits?
Yes.
Based on who you select. Huh.
I don't know if I chose the correct one. So there's this endosymbiotic bacteria, Wolbachia, that lives inside... that lives inside these ants, pharaoh ants. And it lives actually in a lot of insects and has some applications to, preventing, halting the spread of malaria and things like that. But in these pharaoh ants, so these pharaoh ant colonies have many queens. And so if a colleague of mine, it's just like over a happy hour, she's talking about this. It's like, well, in her ants, it just seemed to be beneficial. Like having these, let me blow this up. Having these Wolbachia is just beneficial. I'm like, well, these things are living inside of them. They must be using resources. Why is the ant colony so much better? Why are their lives better being infected? It seems strange. And we had this idea that actually there's a public goods game going on. So the way it works is there are multiple, like I mentioned, there are multiple queens in the colony. They spend their effort producing new workers. So this public benefits all the queens. It benefits the whole colony. Only at certain certain times when the ratio of queens to workers reaches something, then they produce new queens. So their reproductive efforts go to workers otherwise. Now, the Wolbachia infected ones have, wow, I just have a pistol. This is not going to go well.
Oh, you're out of the rockets or whatever they were? Blasts.
I also don't even have. Okay, this is just not going to work. Where can I find?
That's amazing.
Can I get in here? Oh, I can. Yeah, so anyway, they're produced at this a threshold period. So her data then suggested that Wolbachia infected ones basically just have an expedited life history. So if all of them are infected, if every queen is infected, then the colony just as a whole is going to grow much more quickly. Now, what happens if there's a mixture of both? Well, which one's going to win between the infected or uninfected ones depends on when that threshold is met. So it could be that the infected queens, all their effort goes to produce new workers. And by the time we're ready for new queens, to produce new queens, they're kind of spent. And then the ones that delayed, now they're ready and they can produce. Oh
no.
They can produce lots of. Oh no.
This is the last one.
What was I saying? Yeah, they can't produce. I don't know if I can do it from here.
No. Oh, all right. You live though. We'll take that as a win.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, infected. They can't live.
Right. So the idea is that the infected ones spend all their effort producing workers, and then when it's time to have new queens, they're spent, and the ones that have the delayed life history, life cycle, they then produce new queens. And so the bacteria is passed down from mother to daughter, and this is going to take forever. Or I can just switch to be someone who can do something. So yeah, anyway, this ends up being like a public goods game.
That was a one-shot kill. That was brutal. You're doing so well, though, even with just a blaster. That's unfortunate. And so how do you learn about these processes? So as an applied mathematician, you have mathematical tools that are in search of a problem. How do you find these problems? Who do you talk to? Is this biologist coming to you? You just read about them? Where does your inspiration come from? Yeah,
so there's stuff that's immediate in my field that I know about, like a lot of the evolution and game theory stuff. I can always figure things out about that.
I mean, there's just known shared problems.
Yes. So there's always work on that I can do, but also from like reading random papers. I had a paper that I ended up doing because I read a law article, like a law review article. It was just a random thing. I don't know why I was reading it, and no math at all. And it's like, it was an interesting scenario. It was about pirating music and movies and stuff like that.
Oh, interesting.
And I'm like, I can model this. So that's one example. Talking to colleagues, going to conferences. I have a new paper out, I guess it's under review now, on I got the idea from listening to a podcast. So sometimes it's really random things.
That is amazing. Hopefully the stream tonight inspires you to do something. That's really fun. And so, which was the one you just mentioned? I was going to follow up on it. Was the one you said before your recent paper?
Oh, the Napster one?
Yeah. So that one's, I mean, the intuition says that downloading music and stuff is problematic for the artist and whatnot. I guess most models say that's not true. Right? Well, so what was your conclusion?
Well, the point of view is so here piracy is going to be cooperation. This law review article asked the question of why did people, especially with the early file sharing platforms like Napster, why would people upload? Why not just download? Right? Why would you bother uploading anything at all? And his argument was it's a well written paper. He called it charismatic code. Basically, that the platform took advantage of our innate social norms of reciprocity. But people thought, well, everyone else is cooperating, so why don't I? And so people shared more than they otherwise would because they thought there was a lot of cooperation.
Yeah.
And if you logged in, it would say things like, oh yeah, everyone shares. And if your upload to download rate was good, it would be green. If it was bad. If you're downloading more than you're uploading, it'd be red or flashing.
Yeah.
If you went to the forums, that's where true believers were. They would say things like information should be free, and everyone shares. It'd help you out.
Mm-hmm.
And so the cooperators are conspicuous, and you don't know anything about, like, the defectors are silent. So you overestimate how much cooperation is, and so you cooperate because of that.
So it's perception based.
And actually, so then anonymity helped it grow.
Huh.
So this was his argument. I thought, well, I could actually model that as using the framework for modeling a disease spread. So you have susceptible individuals. These are like your people outside of the group.
Mm-hmm.
They're not using Napster, whatever it may be. And then you have they become infected, so they join the group. They start off as naive, so maybe they think there's more cooperation than there is, and they can learn over time, and then cooperate less, and then they can also be discouraged and leave. And so model this, and you can allow it to grow much more quickly, especially if early beliefs are skewed, like overly optimistic, and and another thing is it was interesting comparing this to other platforms in which like Demonoid, where you had to be invited to join. If you're on it, you have to upload or you get booted. If you invite people and they don't upload enough, they get booted and you can get booted. So that network probably had a lot of sharing on it, but didn't grow as quickly, I'm guessing.
Interesting.
While the anonymity actually allowed things like Napster to grow quite quickly. And this has other applications too outside of
I was going to say,
piracy.
can you use this inside not just to model systems, but predict and design systems?
Yes, you could. I could. Well, I want to give a talk about it. I have like recommendations if you want to build your community quickly.
Make a super addictive website.
What kind of things you want to do? It's so you want to give people a very rosy view of the degree of cooperation. You want to make learning the truth difficult for people. Right. And then there's another thing is like if you want people who are discouraged, you want them to leave.
Yeah.
It depends because if they leave, cooperation rates go up because there's more naive individuals, or like the higher proportion are naive individuals. But the whole population is smaller, so maybe that reduces growth in some way. So there can be a trade-off between the two.
Yeah. Sounds like a cult.
Yeah, maybe.
I like it.
And there are applications also to not just Napster. Another example, a couple other examples. One is with taxes. So if people basically think their neighbors are less honest than they really are, and so they're less honest because of that. and so you can have success in like promoting.
Wow, that was brutal.
You can have success in promoting, getting, people pay their taxes by telling them like, actually, your neighbors are, your neighbors are honest, relatively honest. Another example is binge drinking. So students overestimate how much binge drinking there is, obviously, like for cultural reasons, or you can, binge drinkers are very conspicuous. And so people binge drink more than they otherwise would. And so some, colleges have had success in sort of just telling people, hey, it's okay not to drink. A lot of other people don't want to drink as much as you think they do.
And so how often does showing people raw data actually influence these outcomes? Like you could go to a group of students and say, here's the actual percentage of students that binge drink. But I mean, personal anecdote outweighs logic and decision making often, right?
Yeah, it does. I don't know. There's it's like I do all the theory on this sort of stuff, but there are people who then go and test it. So is this just a story, or is this realistic at all?
Yeah.
So like David Rand, for example, at MIT does this. So he's very familiar with the theory, and then he'll try to test it out. Do people behave the way these modelers think they behave?
That's fun. I appreciate the experimental, testable hypothesis aspect of that.
Yeah, I mean, my stuff isn't. It doesn't use real data, so it's like lives in the realm of myth and maybe.
Holy crap, you're getting wrecked in this level. This is
Yeah.
crazy.
I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do.
Fly out. Have you tried the push down? Do you go faster if you
I don't know if that works with.
the left joystick maybe? Zoom? Yeah, I don't know. It's adventures.
Oh, I'm supposed
Demonoid.
to destroy this one.
Demonoid man, what a flashback. Yeah. The golden days, Napster and LimeWire, and oh yeah. When the internet didn't suck. It got horrible. I guess Facebook, early adoption of that was the exclusivity and the had to be education related. You had to be
Oh, yeah, it
invited.
did, yeah.
Kazaa, that's another one. Thank you, Misadventures.
Yeah.
I do not regret the timeline I grew up in the internet. 'Cause I do remember before it was terrible, and now with AI intervening on everything. I mean, so how much does that screw up your models at this point? Like if you're talking about anything networking on, any online platform, all of a sudden there's so many bots and so much AI. Like, does it just get thrown out the window because humans are no longer decision makers?
Yeah, I don't know.
Watch your flying. We're running out of reinforcements.
There are stuff where people like actually do, consider adding. You usually kind of imagine adding a few bots in, and like how you can change the outcome of a system by doing that. But I guess if there's tons of them, I don't know what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's a majority bot.
Well, so we wrote a paper. We showed you can actually detect ChatGPT usage on a multiple choice exam.
Oh, really?
Right, because it's single characters, right?
Yeah.
But if you take the comprehensive data set, ChatGPT doesn't answer the same. What's hard for a student isn't necessarily hard for ChatGPT and vice versa. So you can use the outfitting statistic to see ChatGPT. But this only works if not every student is using ChatGPT. Like there's a threshold of usage where it becomes useless, where it's dominated by the AI, generative AI taking the test. And so you need a certain percentage of students to have a comparative data set.
Oh, okay. Well, this creates a nice little like social dilemma for them.
Yeah, exactly. I like it. All right, we're an hour in. So if you want to keep playing, we could do it, or we could switch to something else. What do you want to do?
We could try switching to something else because
Yeah.
I'm getting. I was doing so well beforehand.
I mean, I really like the diversity of gameplay they give you in this. You
Yeah.
get a lot of different characters, a lot of different mechanics, shooting versus sword versus plane. Like,
I think I'm just not sure what I'm supposed to do.
just
Oh, maybe we should be using the bombers.
just close out this round. And what do you want to play next? What do we have on the list? We have the 110 and 1,
Yes.
Mario Kart 64, Super Mario Brothers 3, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, WCW versus NWO. I think you should do the wrestling game at least once tonight.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do that one.
No
next.
one has played wrestling on the stream.
Really? We played it a lot.
We're 119 streams in and nobody has played wrestling.
Okay.
So I'm excited. Matt isn't a Robert. Battlefront 2 is one of my all-time favorites. See, Matt isn't a Robert. He could have told you what to do on these levels, but he's here now. So if you want any
I
advice,
think I should have been just using the bomber to do these.
Matt isn't a Robert. Can you run in this game? Is there a run button or a run feature? Because we were walking around earlier trying to figure it out. But yeah, Matt is. If you want to play this now, it turns out you can get a PlayStation 3 controller, and it's a pain in the ass to get it to interface with your PC, but you can do it. It works out. Oh, there's.
I at least destroyed that one ship.
We'll
So
count that win.
That's a win.
Go inside and take out the shields. So we weren't going to win that one unless we went inside. All right, Matt, thank you very much. Unfortunately, we're bailing on Battlefield. So what are we going to go to? We're going to go do. Let's close that out. We're going to go with WCW versus NWO. All right. So we're going to Nintendo 64. This has to be what, late 90s this probably came out, or mid 90s maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Back when there was WCW and WWF. I don't know if you got into the wrestling world at all, but that was like peaked when I was in high school. I graduated high school in 2000. Yeah, without saying, it's not gonna matter.
Okay. What should I do? Not a league. Let's just do an exhibition. Battle Royale, yes.
When was the last time you played this?
A long time ago. You could I don't know if it's this one or one of the other ones. You could rename all the characters.
Oh, that's fun.
And my cousin and I, my brother, it's ridiculous. You think you could change their hair and stuff, and so we did every single character. They ended up being ridiculous. Who do I want to be?
Misadventures. Dr. Ken running around going, suck it. I don't know if you remember back in the day, oh my God. I mean, I grew up in like small town Minnesota, like backwoods. It was redneck country, snowmobiles and four-wheelers. And yeah, there was, especially on the football team, there was regular WWF or WCW watch nights. NWO, I remember all this crap from way back in the day. Going around saying suck it. It turns out I still do that in Misadventures. It's really stuck with me all these years. 30 some years later. I like it. But yeah, anyone just joining us, Ask Scientist Gaming, mediocre gameplay, expert science. We're playing some WCW versus NWO World Tour. Which, man, this is one you played with your brothers as well?
Yep.
Do you remember any of the controls, any of the special moves?
I'm not doing so well so far. Okay.
I just want to point out, Bryce is the first one to play a wrestling game on stream. There were a whole lot of wrestling games. Did you play any of the early ones for the NES? Some of those were
so there is a wrestling game on the 110. Which we will do.
We'll do that next.
Yes.
Oh no, because there were several for the NES. There was WWF. There was Hulk Hogan something. I own at least a couple of those guys.
That's right.
Man, that's fun. But yeah, if you guys have questions for Bryce, feel free to ask them. He likes to model economic and biological systems with mathematics, using differential equations, using a bunch of game theory, trying to model networks' behavior and how they interact and how systems make their decisions. So if you have any questions, feel free to put those in chat while we play a little bit of WCW versus NWO. Who did you pick? Which characters did you
Rey
pick?
Mysterio Jr.
Rey Mysterio. Oh man. The debate of if it was real or not. Where's your game theory in that?
Thing is, like, I only know these characters from the video game. Like, I don't think I ever watched. I mean, I may have watched part of a wrestling match, but yeah, I only know it from the game.
Man,
we didn't have TV for. I mean, we didn't have cable or for a good while. When we were kids, my parents decided to want to get rid of that.
But wrestling was that filled the void. I like it. I don't know. I learned a lot from video games, especially sports video games. Maybe not wrestling per se, but like if you want to learn the rules of soccer, hockey, or football,
okay,
it like forces you to do it.
Did you play a lot of like sports?
I played a lot of football and basketball. Those are my go-to. Plus hockey. I mean, I grew up in Minnesota, so
yeah.
You went to school in Canada. You're from Canada originally?
Yeah.
Where are you from? Which
Regina, Saskatchewan.
Yeah, nice.
So of course learned how to play hockey.
Yeah. Our closest hockey rink to here is Jacksonville.
Yeah, I have a 2-year-old son now, and like I don't know, I've got to figure out how to teach him to play.
No, we took I mean, it's a 2.5-hour drive to Jacksonville, but their hockey rink, I don't remember what it's called. But they have like the Icemen or something. They have a semi-professional team, and they have a nice rink, and we've gone there and gone ice skating. So we got to do the laps, and we took the daughters there. First time ice skating, but while in Tallahassee, we just do the roller rink. Just get rollerblades.
Oh, okay.
Which is, I mean,
It's quite different though.
it is. It does, man, there's something about the cool and the smell of a hockey rink that you just cannot, there's no way to compare to it. Yeah, Misadventures, that is the closest. So when I first arrived, the first couple of years, Governor Square Mall, the one that's like pretty close to here, they had an outdoor rink. They had like a frozen from the bottom rink, and it was tiny, but it was still ice skating, and we went there and we were gods for like weeks, but it stopped happening like 7 or 8 years ago. And so, yeah, the closest ice rink to us, as far as I know, is in Jacksonville. Yeah, I mean, we've been watching like the Olympics. I don't know if you watched the USA versus Canada women's final, but they crushed. US won 5-0.
Oh,
which
dang,
is that's super unusual.
No, I didn't didn't watch it. Oh, there we go.
All right. So speaking of fantasy sports, we'll talk about. So have you thought about this game theory in the context of like any of the fantasy sports, like baseball or football or those decision makings, drafting players? I mean, it falls under that umbrella.
Yeah, no, I haven't tried to apply it to anything like that before, but wait, or have I? No, I
could you game the system?
Yeah.
Poor amateurs doing it based on. I mean, it's one of my favorite movies is Just Stocks. Have you played the market at all, knowing what you know now?
I don't know. I think like one thing I've learned from I think from game theory is that how bad it can be at predicting actual human behavior, and how we don't actually behave as the way the theory says.
Yeah.
I don't think that means that it's wrong to try to use mathematics to understand human behavior. It's just difficult, and it's just a lot more work we need to do. My second postdoc, the grant that was funding me was this next generation social science, NGS2, I think, whatever it was called, and the idea was to develop more theory, like a next generation of social science. Modeling norms, like how they evolve and things like that. But there's just a lot of work we have to do. I had this moment in grad school where I didn't know if I wanted to continue doing this because I wasn't sure if it was real at all. And
oh, interesting. You're like,
yeah,
it's just a lost cause.
Yeah, like we can't really model human behavior effectively. I should be in I should go into physics or something else. And my advisor had good advice about this. So he's like, well, you think about this as we're early in this discipline, right? Still early. There's still a lot of things to learn. So you can't compare it to something that's been more developed. And so in some ways, the exciting thing is we're sort of on the ground floor of developing new theory, and it's like that's an exciting part of it.
I mean, but does that haunt you at night? Like you might just fundamentally be in the wrong direction, and this is it could still be a risky endeavor. I guess as long as it gets you through tenure. That's all that matters, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
pursuit.
I imagine at some point I'll get more into actually testing these things and trying to use real data. I should turn off the rope brake.
Yeah, what's with the guy at the bottom of the screen?
Oh, he's out.
Oh, he got thrown out. I thought another guy got thrown out.
Oh, he's out.
Oh, okay.
You can be out for a few minutes.
I see.
Don't do my right.
man. Shmonite, following up on the hockey discussion, the Lightning have been putting up ice rinks and parks around Tampa Bay area to increase interest. Man, I saw this, so I introduced my daughters to the movie Mighty Ducks. You were probably the formative age when that came out as well.
Yeah.
And like I remember that very distinctly. Rollerblading through a Mall of America in Minnesota, absolutely amazing. But there was a video that basically said Mighty Ducks made hockey mainstream in the United States. Like prior to that, the membership numbers in the national hockey clubs and stuff like that were much lower until 5 years after it just skyrocketed. And so it was, and it made sense, right? They started a hockey team. Like the Mighty Ducks are a byproduct of that movie. And yeah, and one of their targeted strategies was, it was very particular. If you look at Mighty Ducks 2, they target like a kid from Miami, a kid from Texas, a kid from California trying to bust into the South, showing that this is it's a national thing and everyone in the U.S. should be interested in hockey. And yeah, it did change the numbers. And you can tell just in terms of percentage of NHL players that are from Canada versus U.S. now versus Europe, and also how the U.S. does in like the Olympics and things like that. So yeah.
The my anecdote of my parents are in I don't know, it was Arizona or someplace like that, and they went to a hockey game, and they had like little instructional booklets. I'm like, what the game is and what's going on. They thought it was so funny.
You see that blue line? Oh, that's amazing. Instructional. And then we didn't have a hockey movie again till The Love Guru. All right, favorite hockey movie.
Oh, I mean, I guess the Mighty Ducks.
That's your favorite?
Yeah, I think so.
One more recent one. I don't know if you've seen it, Goon.
No.
It is pretty spectacular. It's very heartfelt. It's much more adult themed into like the hockey violence. It's kind of a borderline between Mighty Ducks and Slapshot, like the Hanson brother enforcer violence. But Shoresy, that's another one. Isn't that Canadian? That's
9,
Shoresy.
10, 11,
This guy's afraid to come in.
12, 13,
You guys haven't seen Shoresy. I've watched all the hockey clips.
15,
Yeah, Canadian television comedy, premiered May 2022. That's Shoresy. That's an excellent one. That counts as TV though. But yeah, I'd recommend Goon if you haven't seen it. It's pretty spectacular. All right, catching up on a few things now that I can use my mouse. Madison or Robert, does AI come into play in game theory? And so that's interesting. You could use AI for modeling and like use it as a tool, or you could think of AI agents within your system. How do you think about AI? Has that infiltrated your life?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's definitely infiltrated my life. I felt I was kind of late to getting onto it, but I guess at this point, maybe not. So I was curious, like how it would be able to do research. I had some ideas. Will it come up with the same ideas that I had? And it was pretty good. Not always, but pretty good. I think actually the worry is for more junior people who, like, part of the benefit of having grad students is they can code for you and stuff like that, at least for our field. But if the AI can do it better than or as quickly as the grad student, I don't know if they'll learn those skills. Like it's going to just sort of skip them and go to people who already have the experience. So in terms of like teaching and advising, there's some worries. It's definitely a useful tool. It can be helpful for. Like I had this problem where I ended up I had this matrix, and I'm like, oh, this matrix must be named something and must have some properties, and I could just ask AI and like, oh yeah, this is what it's called. Like, great, it allowed me to finish the proof because then I know what it is.
You just copy and paste the matrix in there.
Well, I explained like what its features were.
Okay.
And and I was like, yeah, this is a named matrix, and it was in a field I didn't know anything about, but then it was able to point me to where to go. Maybe I'm just using it as in that sense as like
it's a fancy search engine.
Yeah, just a fancy search engine.
Yeah, that's mostly what I do. I'm like, is there any use of XPS spectroscopy on a copper-1 complex? And then it'll bring me papers and things like that. It's a good primer. It's not going to dive deep, but it's nice for writing reviews and stuff like that, introductions. So how's the WCW versus NWO? Is it everything you remembered it would be?
Yeah, I think I was doing all right.
That's awesome.
Who should I play next?
You. Whatever you want to do. Bust out this guy if you want it.
Oh, nice. There was a bar in Philly when I was a postdoc there, and Brauhaus Schmitz, and they had really good beer and sausage. So it was a thing I always.
So we're busting out some Aventis of Weissen Doppelbock is the beer. 8% alcohol, German wheat beer. Yeah, the first beer I ever had was a Hefeweizen in Germany, actually. So.
Oh.
So I'm all for it. Man, but in terms of utility of AI in the research that you do and the work you do, in terms of modeling systems, we talked a little bit about getting AI agents in the decision making, but I guess that comes down to how you train the AI set. Is it different than a person? Is it entirely rational?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's plenty of research which looks at if you have like a single bot or a few bots in a system and how it can guide its behavior, but usually they're kind of simplified ones. But I guess with AI you could do that much more elaborately.
That's what's terrifying about social media, because we talked about that earlier about how you can manipulate perception in terms of file sharing and encourage people to share more. If you have enough bots, like that's doing it already.
2, 3.
Miss Ventures had a comment. I recently learned about a group of self-called rationalists that seemed to exactly what you think would happen if someone learned game theory from 4chan. Oh man. Some of the splinter groups have arrived at crazy conclusion about ethics around AI, and it's ratcheted up to in real life shootings. Holy crap. I mean, yeah, that's...
Well, there's a story about the using game theory to analyze what to say the US should do in the Cold War with nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
And the analysis was, should just shoot first. Should just nuke them right now. That was the game. Thankfully, no one listened to that. Listened to that. But that was the recommendation. And like the math was, I'm sure, fine. But
I think there was a documentary on that. It was starring Matthew Broderick called War Games.
Yeah.
There it is, Matt, isn't it, Robert? Watch War Games. Oh, man. The only way to win is don't play the game. Absolutely. Tic-tac-toe. Oh, man. So you have a 2-year-old now. They're not quite cognitively fully functional yet, but, man, is your game theory knowledge going to apply in your parenting?
I don't know. Maybe more from my wife. She's a neuroscientist, and
Oh, wow.
actually test these things out. But one interesting thing is a lot of animals, like monkeys that she'd work with, they actually would follow the game theory. It's humans that don't.
More so than humans.
More so than humans. Yeah.
That's a consistent outcome. The primates will be more. I'm sure that says something deep about us. What that is, I have no idea. But yeah, if you guys have questions for Bryce, he's happy to answer them, talking about economics and biology and game theory and decision making and cooperation versus independent decision making. It all comes together and it all models all sorts of different behaviors, from spread of diseases or how people decide vaccines versus biological systems, evolution. It all comes into play. Ooh, Matt isn't a Robert. Primates probably have fewer creative alternatives. Interesting.
There is a paper that argues that the reason why people are not being rational is because they don't actually understand the game. And if you play the game, few more enough more rounds, then they start playing as game theorists say. I think that not everyone's convinced by this paper. Some say, well, you've just trained them to be to be playing that way.
Yeah.
So they're not convinced by that. But there is an argument that the some of the evidence that suggests that people are not playing as game theorists say they should is just because they don't understand the game. Well, there could be other factors too, like there are other things in your payoff. The fact that you're interacting in front of people, it's maybe you don't want to look like a bad person. So these are the things that are affecting how you behave. And if you were to add all those in somehow, then maybe the behavior is not irrational. I think is kind of the argument.
I am Ham Gaming. Can confirm after having children play Prisoner's Dilemma at a math fun day. That's amazing. You're going to visit your kid's kindergarten classroom and say, all right, here's your choices.
So yeah, we've done this at Math Fun Day here. And then awesome. First time I did it, I overhear these kids saying, I'll never cooperate again. It's just like, that's not what I was trying to do.
You've shaped the future generations. Cuddle Puppy says, now do the Stanford prison experiment. Which even that one's brought into question, right?
Yeah.
Because that hasn't been fully reproduced, but man, that's amazing. All right, while we play some WCW versus NWO, I'm going to ask you my other question. We talked about hockey movies. We talked about war games. So one of my favorite questions I like to ask every single guest is, what movie gets your discipline right? What gets it wrong? And so this could be from game theory. This could be economics. This could be biology. I'm going to say the most obvious one is what? A Beautiful Mind, Nash, and Nash Equilibrium.
Yeah, I think that probably, I think it gets things wrong about his life, but I remember, I've only watched it once. Mm-hmm. I remember thinking the description of was like the approaching which girl you'd approach.
Yeah, rather than approaching one, approach several.
No, it was not. They shouldn't all approach the. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess that's in some ways correct.
Yeah.
I just remember watching at the time and not feeling it was quite correct. I don't remember why. I don't know whether movies speak about my discipline. Man,
there are probably subtle uses of game theory decision making. Man, if anyone has suggestions. Man, one I like, maybe not necessarily game theory, but at least using mathematics to drive things is Moneyball. I don't know if you've seen that.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
I mean,
That's interesting. There's it's interesting how quantitative that's gotten. Mm-hmm. So I mentioned before my wife doing neuroscience. She has a former colleague who's now working for a baseball team, and they're using the methods they had to understand behavior of these monkeys to, optimize performance of the players. It's amazing how sort of quantitative it is, and just trying to get any benefit they can. Guys, I'm pinning this person. Let me do it. Thank you.
Nice. So he's out. Do they work for the Cincinnati Reds? If so, I might know them. That's amazing.
I don't know who he works for. He was down here, it was a couple of years ago. I guess for spring training. He came down and he visited us.
And what else? Economics. There's The Big Short. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Yeah.
14. I don't know how much modeling went into that, and a lot of intuition driving decision making in that realm.
Well, wasn't like part of what may have that was partially a cause for is a mathematical model. There was this it's done by someone at the University of Waterloo, I believe. And he in his paper, he talked about the limitations of his method. But it basically gave like a single, if I remember correctly, it sort of gave a single number to tell you the risk of some asset, and that's good for like managers to it makes it very simple, but it's not.
Sting has got to be so annoyed with his teammate right now.
Well, he's got a special now, so I want to stay away from him. Just hide.
Baseball is very superstitious, easier to predict. Misadventures following up on the Cincinnati Reds comment. Their director of data science basically originally did neuroscience.
Oh, okay, cool.
He used to stream on Twitch, which is kind of fun.
6, 7, 8, 9.
Man, what other economics and game theory related movies?
13.
Anyone has suggestions? Throw them in chat. I'm running out of options.
Yeah, I really don't know what ones would.
Trading places, did some stock exchange. Betting on human outcomes. Yeah, we talked about Beautiful Mind.
The one thing that is often
Pie. Have you ever wanted to take a drill to your brain? Spoilers, everyone. Sorry.
how movies represent like coding and stuff is always kind of funny.
Oh, that's fair. That is fair. My favorite one that does coding in the extreme is Swordfish.
Yes,
You
yes,
saw that with
yes.
it's Hugh Jackman, right? And, Halle
And
Berry.
Travolta as well.
Travolta was the baddie,
Halle Berry, yeah.
But have you ever seen the movie Hackers? Early 90s. Angelina Jolie, one of her earliest roles.
I know of it.
Also Shaggy, what the hell's his name? Somebody knows this guy from Scream. I can't believe I don't. I'm genuinely sad I can't think of his name. But Hackers was outstanding. 3-dimensional programming and graphing, and it was amazing. What the hell is his name? He does the voice of Shaggy. Matthew Lillard, thank you very much. I should have known that. If you haven't seen that one, that's another excellent one. That's part of your homework before you're on the stream again. Watch Hackers. Hack the planet, ladies and gentlemen. I like it.
Yeah, for me actually, I can't believe that worked. We just had special. Movies I like are like not science kind of related stuff at all. I mean, this is actually kind of related to the fact that I was considering studying literature instead. Yeah, maybe this is a bit of a misconception, not from movies, but of people that may be in movies or mathematicians. That doesn't mean I only like quantitative things.
Yeah.
I think I like math just as much as I liked, literature.
Yeah, that's fair. We are not one-dimensional, which is why we're allowed to play video games, drink, and talk about our expertise on stream. It's part of the humanizing aspect of what we do. I did think of one movie, Ian Malcolm in Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah, Chaos Theory.
Chaos Theory. Does that fall near your realm of expertise?
Yeah, it is.
Sufficiently near?
Yeah. No, I do a lot of Chaos Theory.
Man, I like his character in the movie. I hate it in the book. I don't know when the last time you read Jurassic Park.
The book is awful.
It's so, one-dimensional characters, and it just, there's so many...
Did you watch the movie first or read the book first?
I watched the movie first.
Same with me. I think if you grew up with it, maybe you would prefer the book. But yeah, I read the book not that many years ago.
Oh, man, I read it 2 months ago, actually.
Yeah,
I went
awful.
back to visit. Yeah, no,
it's really sexist.
Such terrible decision-making and nonsensical character choices. And
the boy and girl, basically the girl's useless the entire time.
Yeah.
And the boy has everything. And Spielberg split up their abilities between
he
his
did,
ability
but he
too.
still made the girl older, but the incompetent one kind of thing. It was anyway.
And Hammond is much more complex in the movie, more interesting.
Yeah. And it's a much more sympathetic character, right? He's just not straight up, I'm glad he died at the end kind of thing. Spoilers if you haven't read a book that's, what, 35 years old or something. Jurassic Park also has a lead hacker. That's true. the user interface where you can click on blocks and it'll get you to all the yeah. No, it's true. Hack the planet. Phones blowing up is absolutely right, Matt. No, the book was pretty bad.
Actually, I think a lot of the science fiction from the 60s to the 90s is not very good. Novels. Maybe because I was reading them as an adult. They have a lot of messianic figures.
Misadventures. I'm wearing a JP Jurassic Park This Is Unix shirt right now. That is amazing. Well, cheers to that. Thank you for... man, I would love to see that in the wild. Not a lot of people would get that. That's amazing. Yeah. Man, fighting the raptors with the whatever juice that melted them or killed them. I'm so like Spielberg just polished the shit out of that storyline.
Yeah.
Like the Jurassic Park movie is so tight and so on point. And anyway, how's the wrestling going?
I'm doing
it.
No, I've won every match. I'm doing well.
I love that it has a spirit bar, like the random units of spirit. Whatever we quantify spirit as.
You have to...
Is it a linear scale? I don't know. Man, I don't know if you're familiar with the speedrunning community, like playing video games as fast as you can, but like deconstructing every aspect. Someone out there knows exactly how to mess with this spirit bar to do exactly what you want. Get special moves immediately, and it's amazing.
I'm just going to power bomb this guy into submission.
Man, so was this a game you chose, or was just a game that ended up like when we were young back in the day when games were expensive? It's like you got some kind of bargain bin game that was part of your collection and you just loved it. Was this one of those?
I don't think I never actually owned an N64. It was my friends who had it and my brothers who had it.
But your brothers owned it exclusively, and they're like,
yeah,
you get it once in a while. Did they give you a dummy controller, the one that wasn't plugged in?
No, they're good. I mean,
okay.
No, they're good. I mean, I'm the oldest brother, maybe that allows me to get that. But
okay, you weren't the young one.
So we got an NES, from my parents when we were young. Whoa, I have special. How you can't do that?
Cuddle puppy. A lot of speedrunning is avoiding actually playing the game, though. That's true. I remember AGDQ when a Skyrim speedrunner said, don't speedrun this. It's a bad run. We don't really play the game. Absolutely. You can clip through walls. I'm sure there's a speedrun on WCW.
Yeah.
We're going to look it up. We need to know if there is a speedrun on WCW wrestling. Oh man, we're an hour and a half in. Time flies when you're having fun. WCW. WCW, this is versus NWO.
There was another one that came out after it too. I don't remember what it was. Oh,
there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
WCW NWO Revenge.
Yes, that's the other one.
WCW versus NWO World Tour. All right, League Challenge. What do you think the record is? I don't even know how many matches the League Challenge is. The answer is 55 minutes. Somebody beat this in. WCW versus NWO. No ring outs is 4 minutes and 21 seconds. So there we go. That's how fast somebody has beaten this. But after this, we should switch to the original NES one. We'll do the 101 game.
Yeah.
We haven't done any predictions yet. We should pop up a prediction. Which one do you want to do?
Maybe the humans evolved to be better.
All right, we're going to pop up a prediction right now. If you guys aren't following us, click the follow button, get your standard internet units. You're going to use them to gamble on a question. Not gamble, because you're going to know the answer or you're going to guess. Either way, it's perfectly fine. I All right, we're gonna pop up a question right now. This is written by our guest. Normally, these predictions are for, will Bryce win this match? And the answer is probably yes. But we're gonna ask you guys a question based on our guest's expertise. In fact, he wrote the questions for you. And so, humans evolved to be better scientists or lawyers? What characteristic, scientists or lawyers, is advantageous? Is there any additional context you want to add to this, or that's pretty straightforward? In human evolution, the selection pressure biased us towards science or being lawyers. And so I looked at this question. I'm like, is this subjective? But I don't think it is. Right there's
it's a theory, so yeah, maybe people might disagree with it, but there is a theory that gives an answer to this, a clear answer.
And there's solid foundational support for this, presumably.
Yes.
So yeah, are humans evolved to be better scientists or lawyers? Does our reproduction push us in one way or the other based on evolutionary selection? Man, I did not expect this question when you sent it to me, but I'm excited we're asking it.
This is another example of something I just learned randomly, and then I haven't done a paper related to this, but at some point I will.
4, 5.
Matt isn't a Robert. Going back to the speedrunning, the newer, more complicated the game, the less fun the speedrun. Oh man, is that true? I guess like the more complicated the game, the more glitchy it is, the easier it is to manipulate it. And I don't know if you've kept up with like the original Super Mario Brothers at all, like Mario Brothers 1, the 37-year-old game now. But it's something like 0.3 of a second or 0.03 of a second away from a perfect speedrun at this point.
Wow.
And so, yeah, they've almost executed the game perfectly up until the last moments of the game. Which is kind of crazy. It's been really fun to watch. The speculation is that game will be matched the tool-assisted speedrun, the computer-generated run, within the next year.
TKO.
TKO and WCW? Is that a thing?
Mm-hmm.
I did not know. I am Ham Gaming. Wasn't there a rumor that a solar flare flipped a bit on that run? I don't know which run in particular, but yeah, there are several examples of that where they can't reproduce some glitch that happened in the game, and they speculate it was some kind of, yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
The original Mario run? No, I don't think that was Mario. I think that was something. It might have been Mario 64, actually. It was actually the healing crystals, absolutely. All right, humans evolved to be better. Bryce, what's the answer? Lawyers or scientists?
It's lawyers.
Oh man, they bet heavily towards lawyers. So you can see the number of people, but on Twitch it allows you to gamble certain amounts. So this is a certain amount of game theory as well. And so people were very confident it was lawyers, but we had a dark horse bet. Cuddle Puppy, that was probably just to do the 87-1 payout. I mean, 87-1 is probably worth a gamble. You might as well. But the answer is lawyers.
Yeah, so it's called the argumentative theory of reasoning. And again, I don't know how I came across this, but I think it was my old postdoc advisor mentioned this. So there's two researchers, Sperber and Mercier, who came up with this idea, and it's used to explain a lot of experimental results which seem like to not make sense, right? That why do people behave this way? And once you put it in this context, then it makes sense. So the argument is that in small groups, to find, say, like the truth that's going to help the group as a whole, it's better to have devil's advocates, or like people who are going to argue different sides. They'll believe in it, so they'll be good lawyers, they'll argue, and then the better argument will win. And so if I'm trying to argue a side, it's better if I think as a lawyer, I'm just trying to convince everyone that I'm right, rather than
actually being right.
Yeah, or dissect my own, or dissect my own opinion. So it's better rather than me, looking inward and dissect my own opinion. I'll just fight for it. You'll fight for yours.
Yeah.
And through the argument,
whoever's more convincing,
we'll find what the truth is. And yes, that's their argument, is that we've evolved to be, in a way, good lawyers because it made sense in a group setting.
Matt isn't a Robert. Let's just say apes were lawyers before scientists. That's fair. All right, we're gonna change it up, and we're gonna go back, way back.
Oh yeah.
Bryce's like third-party jank, whatever, 101. What is it? 110 and one.
So this one only is 108. The one I has 110.
He sent me an email saying, "I played this game as a kid. Can you find it?" And we did, or we found.
I'm impressed.
version
Yeah,
of it.
no, this is great.
And this is like a third party from Singapore. I don't know where your dad found this game.
Yes. Yeah, I think it ended up being like a joke with my friends in grad school. I'd bring this up all the time. Yeah, I remember when my father brought this home. Like, oh, it's 110 games in like one cartridge. Like, how?
But a lot of these are Nintendo games, right? They're just like
Yeah, they're
packaged into one. It's like Tetris's original Tetris. I played soccer, tennis. Yeah.
they're terrible. Well, some of them are terrible games. Oh, let's do Balloon Fight to begin with.
Oh yeah, this looks like the original Balloon Fight. So this is just an all-in-one cartridge.
Yep.
Cuddle Puppy 2, Stupid People, Truth is Subjective. Oof, Cuddle Puppy, so are scientists allergic to the term truth? I mean, so a lot of people equate decision-making with like a certain degree of intelligence, but presumably there's, in this spectrum of game theory where people are acting rational versus irrational, there's got to be some kind of response curve, right? Where like some intelligence is good, too much intelligence is bad. Like, is that a modeled predicted behavior?
Yeah, I mean, actually, exactly that. So I have this. I'm not doing as well as I should be doing. There's this framework to understand the evolution of cooperation, and what it's doing is, so again, you can think of like the prisoner's dilemma, or you think of it as a donation game. So two people meet. One person is chosen at random to be a donor. They can give a benefit to the recipient, with benefit is value B, at a cost C to themselves. C is less than B. If we were to randomly do this numerous times and we're both cooperative with each other, we would get B minus C on average, and that would be good. So we get something from that. If you defect, you both get you both get 0. And so how do you promote cooperation?
Move.
Now one way is reciprocity. Basically, we continually play the same people. So we play one game, then if we play it over again and again, then I should cooperate because you'll punish me when it's your turn if I don't. But indirect reciprocity imagines that we play a game, but we don't play each other again. But there's a third party that will observe what we're doing and assign a reputation based on what we did, or based on what the donor did. And the rules are actually called social norms. So, for example, let's say you're a bad person. Then is it good for me to give to you or not? Might depend on the social norm. And like one social norm is called stern judging, which is if you're a bad person and I give to you, then I'm bad.
Speed strat, that was nice.
Oh yeah, I remember.
So this is one you played back in the day a lot?
Oh yeah.
No, that was beautiful. Well done. Sorry to interrupt, but let's give a shout out to gaming when we get it.
Anyhow, one of the problems in this model is that if you imagine there's errors. So there's a chance where there's someone who's going to donate to you. Yes, maybe I'm donating to you, and then we have an observer, but they see it incorrectly. They think I didn't, and or maybe I think you're a good person, and so I should cooperate with you, but they think you're a bad person. I shouldn't. So when we disagree about who's good and who's bad, this can make the whole system fall apart, and individuals who always defect will end up, winning because of it. And there's a lot of work on understanding this. The models are like really very, very theoretical, because even to understand the system, even a very simple version of the system is difficult. It's very difficult. The first models assumed public information, meaning that you can think of it as like one person observes the behavior. So if we interact, I cooperate with you or something, one person observes and tells everyone else, and then everyone will agree on it. That one is analytically tractable. But if we consider the case where, different people observe us, and so they may disagree on whether I'm good or bad, or it ends up being a mess. Like I have a paper on this, and the appendix, which has all the proofs, is way longer than the paper. and
so it goes.
yeah, and it's very difficult to do these things. But we part of the problem was, okay, well, there's these errors, so people disagree about who's good and who's bad. So what if individuals could error correct? If they're rational in some way, they can, they're aware of the errors, right? So I know, well, there's some chance that you did intend to cooperate with a good person, but I just saw it incorrectly, and so actually you are a good person. I'll just factor that in. I'll use Bayes' rule to do so, right? That ends up making cooperation do worse. So like a lot. I think there's one scenario where it's kind of better, but generally it's like way worse.
So living in this world of understanding this applied game theory, do you end up second guessing yourself more? Because I mean, it just highlights how often our intuition is wrong.
Oh, sure.
Right? And like, did you find that affecting you personally, or how do you cope with that?
Yeah, I think I definitely second guess a lot of what I know and what's the right way to do things. Also because I was in different departments. I was in math. I was in a math department now, but I was in a bio department. I was in a physics department. And they all think of things different ways, and so I feel like I generally am like less certain about everything. And then also when you look at models and like where they may be wrong and the assumptions, and if you weaken the assumptions, how different the results can be. So I feel like maybe I don't know much actually.
So along those lines, I mean, you have to teach classes and you assign a grades. And like one thing that astounded me getting into academia is we have these people that are foremost experts in whatever particular area they're researching, whether it's cancer or solar cells or whatever it might be. But when you talk to them about the class they're teaching, they know the absolute best way to teach. Like the assertiveness behind pedagogy and how people teach and what opinions they think they have is astounding to me.
Oh, really?
And so yeah, just in terms of like, my class average is meaningful. It tells me, like, I don't know about you, but I wrestle a lot with drawing grade lines because there is so much error and subjectivity in how we assess. And I struggle to cope with how confident some of my colleagues are in those type of assignments.
Yeah, I'm more on your side here. I'm uncertain of the I'm doing all right. Yeah, I'm not confident about it. It's difficult. We give a lot of, part marks for things. So, and it is really subjective, right?
Yep.
Like,
well, the thing I wrestle with a lot too is like, I mean, some of this falls under the umbrella of psychology, some of it under game theory, but like, you shouldn't ask all the above, none of the above questions because it's a psychological disadvantage for students. And this has been studied a whole bunch. And subtle things like that, where I'm just like completely destroying my students in ways I don't even understand. And I don't know. I wrestle with it. I need to study psychology. And you are flying through this game. It feels good to play this again. It's probably been, 30 years since you visited this?
Nah, not that long. But yeah, it's been a while. I mean, my struggle is more the dealing with grade inflation.
Yeah,
which is bad, and also different in Canada versus here.
Oh, interesting.
But by like a full grade letter. A full grade letter.
So C is actually average in Canada?
Yeah, so I have, if a student gets an A here, they're probably getting a B in in Canada. And one of the problems that comes out with this is that students may get a B or C. I'm like, your grade's fine. I don't feel anything wrong with it, you know.
Your context is different. Yeah.
The context is different, and a lot of these early level courses, the average is like 65. That's normal.
Yeah.
Right. And they just try to, you know, they murder you, and like that. But that's a normal grade. You get 65. That's fine.
I mean, that's one thing I wrestle with, because I do. Like, I base my test average on Roche modeling, where the ideal test is somewhere about 65%, where you get meaningful differentiation of A's and B's and so on and so forth. But students struggle with, because they're ingrained in this 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 90 is a B.
So
and that's just arbitrary shit. Like, those lines are entirely made up.
So do you use a different scale?
Yeah, I do.
That's good.
I use 85% is an A, 70% is a B, 60 is a C, and then 50 is a E or F line.
Yeah, that would be better. I have a colleague who does that. I'm just following what the department does, so I've been not doing that, but I like that.
So you use the 90 to 100?
Yeah.
I mean, that scale is
100.
entirely made up. And so if you look at the actual testing theory, like, it's very clear. If you want to do an accurate assessment, you want students ideally to be, you know, the top performer has a 50% chance of getting the hardest question right, whereas the worst performer has a 50% chance of getting the easiest question right or wrong. And if you do that, the average should be between 55 and 65. And so, like, the testing data is pretty straightforward on this. But it's hard for students to digest when they've taken every single class where it's 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 90. And that's an entirely made up scale that has no basis in you know, psychometrics at all. So, yeah, this is a fight I fight. Anyway, do you want to switch it up? You want to try something else?
Well, we have to reset it if I want to play a different game on the 110. But yes.
We got to find the wrestling game.
Oh, you can do the wrestling
Where
game?
is it?
All right. It's kind of amazing. I still remember like the
Numbers.
numbers. It's called Wrestle.
All right. Oh, it's in Japanese. Let's do this.
All right. So the cop is it's cheating to use the cop. So we would never allow people to use the cop. I'm going to use it just because I'm not playing against you.
It's been a while, yeah.
And I can show you why it's cheap.
That's awesome. What is it? It's called
The knight's
Wrestling?
pretty good too, and then whatever this guy is, he's pretty good too. So I'll do this guy.
Holy cow, I've never seen that. I've seen this version of wrestling. This is pro wrestling for the NES.
I'm not doing well.
NES wrestling games ranked worst to best.
This is clearly the best, right?
So this looks a whole lot like Tag Team Muscle. Has anyone seen this game for the NES? I mean, Bryce is playing the knockoff version, but this probably has a legit name associated with it.
Okay, I'm not doing well.
Kind of looks like that one. Man, I don't know. Tag Team Muscle. All right, I am Ham Gaming. Have you ever done anything on algorithmic type game theory? It's usually more combinatorial in nature, and for some reason it's very popular on Stack and Overflow.
No, I haven't actually. The neat thing about game theory is there's so many variations of it. Like there are people who, he got the special. Oh, that's so unfair.
So,
I even chose a cheat guy.
and he just took you to town. Oof.
Yeah, there's so many, like a lot of our stuff, we look at very simple games. Maybe there's 2 or 3 strategies only. I'm gonna try again. But let's choose.
You are focused on this match. Pride is on the line here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, sorry, anyway. Algorithmic type game theory.
So people can, like, there's just so many different ways of looking at Yes. Yeah, see, look how cheap this is. I'm just shooting him with...
There's a gun feature in this wrestling match.
Oh, no, he got...
Oh, he got free. Oh, man. Did you ever play Mortal Kombat with the, like, leg sweep move? Very similar.
Cinder and Killer Instinct.
Yep.
No. Okay, I'm gonna switch.
Matt isn't a Robert. Was Goodwill Hunting kind of related to game theory? I think it's called graph theory. They did have a graph theory problem on the board.
Yep.
So Goodwill Hunting, how'd you feel about that?
Yeah, it's a great movie. Graph theory show. Oh, I'm doing so poorly.
No worries. It's been a while.
Yeah, no, graph theory shows up in a lot of stuff I do too. You know, you think of individuals living on a on a graph, like on a network, and you want to understand what they should do.
And so you do some version of that network type mapping in your modeling?
We should choose a different game.
On this, or do you want to do something else?
No, on this.
We got, okay.
But they just destroy me 2 times in a row. Okay.
So you played all these then?
Yeah.
Well, what are your favorites?
Well, that one's a pretty good one, but I clearly rusty. Oh, Elevator's pretty good. What else could we do?
I love there's a Mario
It's just Super Mario
bars.
1.
Yeah, but it's like spelled wrong on here. Go,
Yep.
go to Mario Bros. Where is it? I found it earlier. I think it's just Mario Bros. But it's this like, where was it?
Yeah, Mario Bros. 2.
I think it's the original Mario Brothers, but that's amazing.
Oh yeah, this one's good.
Spartan X, let's do it. Oh, it's Kung Fu. Look at that. So these are mostly NES games, just like ported in slightly different nomenclature. All right, sorry, Goodwill Hunting. So graph theory, that was legit as far as you remember.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he also talked economics in there, right? The bar scene, how do you like them apples? Talking about Gordon Wood and entrepreneurial, blah, blah, blah. Do you happen to remember any of that?
Not the specifics.
No worries. Kung Fu, this one is a classic. Matt isn't a Robert. Are you familiar with Liar's Dice, aka Devil's Dice? I think it's about as close as my mind can come to getting game theory. It's more like counting cards, I guess. Are you familiar? Have you heard
No,
this?
no, they like very, very.
Is this an analogy or a type of? Let me look up
Devil's
Liar's Dice.
Liar's Dice?
Liar's Dice. Man, this is why it's convenient to have like dual control. So those of you that weren't here for Star Wars Battlefront, so we're playing it on the PSX2 emulator, and it would not let me do background input. So I had to let Bryce play Star Wars while I couldn't look up anything, and it felt so debilitating. Liar's Dice is a fast-paced game of deception and probability for 2 to 10 players where participants use 5 dice each to bid on the total quantity of specific face values hidden across all players. Oh, interesting. Liar's Dice. Oh, you can download the app on Google Play if you're interested in trying this game. They played it in Pirates of the Caribbean. I did not expect that. That's fun. So you've not heard of this, or maybe you have, but not explicitly?
No, unfortunately.
Oh, man. That is fun, but that is a deception-based game. That seems like that'd play nicely into game theory. There's a Reddit r Liar's Bar. Explain Liar's Dice to me like I'm stupid. Use other people's bets to gauge what dice they have. I mean, so are you a card player at all? Have you played poker or?
I mean, I've played it, but I'm not really a card player. I like board games, though. I play a lot of board games.
Yeah.
There's a board game cafe in town, actually. It's pretty good.
Where's that?
Oh, he's moved around a bit, so I'm not sure where it is now.
There was one in Railroad Square, if I remember correctly. Ooh, nice move.
Like how they hug you to kill you.
Hugs to death are one of the best ways to go. Ooh, what's your favorite board game?
Oh,
Because board gaming has evolved a lot from when we were young.
yes,
Now
yes.
it's a legit, like...
Yeah, they're great games. My favorite. Oh. Concordia is a great game. It's probably up there.
Misadventures. Kick the kids and shoot the dogs. That is amazing. All right.
I barely got through that.
So the NES version of this is called Kung Fu. What do you think the speedrun world record in this is? Getting through all, I think it's 5 levels?
Yep, they're 5.
What do you think the world record is?
Like 5 minutes or something like that? Or...
3 minutes and 33 seconds. So that's so fast. Oh my God. You're not slowing down for anything. Oof. Oh, that's going to hurt the speed.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
The third boss is actually the hardest, I think.
More floors. That's a legit run. Yeah, one of the things I learned about speedrunning, did he kick that guy's head off? Absolutely he did. Kicking kids, dogs, and heads. Have you beaten this game?
Yeah. I mean, it just restarts once you beat the boss.
Yeah, and then you cycle through over and over again.
Yep. I just can't remember how to
Wow.
kill.
There's a whole lot of, most of the time, the slowest time on speedrun.com is 6 minutes and 45 seconds. That is crazy. Oh man.
How do I kill this guy again? I think I
Random
have
choice. Anyone in chat know Kung Fu? He did kick that guy's head off.
I think it's I have to probably duck and then kick his legs. That's probably what it is. That's right.
So your understanding of game theory and like rational and irrational decision makers and how like humans don't fit the models, are you more or less optimistic about society as a whole? Like when you look at the general population, every one of them gets the same amount of votes as you do for president or whatever politician. Sorry to put a heavy question on, but like, oh, get it? Nice. I know Kung Fu, Keanu. That one's a documentary as well. Anyway, more or less
I
optimistic.
think right now I'm not very optimistic.
Because of the stream tonight. Oh man. Man, the beer was good though. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, no, it's good.
I love
This
Total
is like
Wine.
our-
I know it's a main like chain, but they have everything. I don't know if you've been in Total Wine and Liquor, but oh my god. It's my go-to for Ask a Scientist because I get asked like some unusual things from mead to whatever it is. And they have it. It's like a German import. Oof. So that's some of the RNG just screwing you over there. Like you can't control those spawns.
I got a bit sloppy. There we go.
Matt isn't a Robert. If a game theorist says they're optimistic, it'll make people relax and then we're screwed. So going back to that original question, more or less optimistic about society in terms of decision making.
I think I'm not very optimistic.
And that's because of your knowledge of game theory or just cynicism about reality in general?
Probably both. I mean, I think that it's knowledge of how people don't follow, or like irrational, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're. I remember early in the pandemic, there were models that looked at people whether they would mask and things like that, and they assumed hyper rationality. Like people are not going to behave that way. And then
Oof. God, that jump is brutal.
when you add in, yeah, look at how people actually behave.
I mean, so going back to the COVID models, I mean, like we have the data set after that initial influx. How good were the models initially? I mean, the predictions.
Yeah, some of the models are pretty, weren't great. So the baseline model of for like disease spread, the SIR model, one big thing it's missing is modeling human behavior.
Stressful moment. Oh no.
No! Oh no! I was so close. Game over. So close.
One hit away. Whew. That was stressful. We're gonna put a rage emote.
Yeah. So the
We've only have one guest slam down a controller and walk out of the room. And it was Aaron Benucci playing. It was like NFL something, Madden 2008. So that merited a rage quit. That was infuriating.
I'll try another level.
Was that the last boss?
That was the last boss. The
Oh
final
my
boss.
god, that was so close. You're gonna try this again or try something?
No, I'll
else?
try something else.
All right.
That was a decent run.
But sorry, yeah, COVID. So early models, predictions, how right were they?
Yeah, well, so the interesting thing about these SIR models is they, it's a simple system of differential equations. You look at this, how disease spreads. The first models assume there's no heterogeneity, so everyone's the same. And then also they don't model how people's behaviors might change, right? So if there's a bunch of people who are getting sick and dying, then maybe you're not going to go out as much or wear masks, and so your chance of being infected should go down, right? And so before COVID, definitely before COVID, my PhD advisor did stuff like this. But definitely once COVID came around, there was just a influx of new work on this sort of thing. And that's stuff we did too, looking at whether people mask or not. And we call it like NPIs, non-pharmaceutical intervention. So it could be masking, it could be social distancing, either one. And we still assume people are rational, so they're going to weigh the pros and cons. We assume there's some cost to masking or staying at home, perceived or real, whatever, but there's some cost. And then the benefit of masking is that, well, then less likely to be infected. So it's going to depend on how many infected people there are. If there's a few people who are infected, then I shouldn't mask. I shouldn't social distance. If there's a lot, then maybe I should. On top of that, we attached a term that represented a social norm of conformity, like the social pressure you feel to do one behavior or the other. And the way it worked was that if you differed from the behavior of people on average, you would get a penalty, like you feel guilt. And the interesting thing about that model is it allowed there to be waves of infections, which normally there wouldn't be in the simple version we're looking at. And also, as you change some parameter values, the effect on how many people got sick ultimately was non-monotonic. So what I mean is that you would think that if you increase the transmission rate, more people get sick, like the intrinsic transmission rate. But actually it wasn't true. At some point there would be like a threshold where you drop down and the number of sick people will go down. Also, the efficacy of the mask or the social distancing. If that goes up, you think fewer people get sick. But actually sometimes you get more people get sick. And you would get this like sawtooth pattern where, so let's say I'm increasing the efficacy of the mask, and so this way, and then okay, fewer people are getting sick, and then soon more people are getting sick, and then it would drop, and then more people are getting sick and drop, and continue on like that. Whenever I do give a talk about this, I always have to say, like, I don't mean like you should poke holes in your mask or anything like that, but it's because of a behavioral thing. essentially what happens is once people stop wearing the mask, so first of all, there's this stickiness with because of the social norm. People start wearing masks later than they should because they don't want to be the first ones to do it, and they stop.
They don't want to be the last.
Later, yeah, because they don't want to be they don't want to be the first people to stop either because everyone else is doing it, and they change their behavior based on like a threshold if infections get high enough. So the worst case scenario where maybe you wear a mask for a while and a few people get sick, but there's a big reservoir of sick people. And then you get a secondary wave and it gets just below the threshold of inducing people to start wearing masks again.
Yeah.
And if the mask was a bit worse, you would actually reach that threshold because there's been more, or if, I guess as the mask gets better, then it goes down. So you get this non-monotonicity, which was surprising.
Jeez. All right, we should do another prediction. We haven't done one for a while. What do you want to do?
Well, I think the second one's kind of already gave an answer to. Maybe the first one?
All right. Yeah, I had to truncate these. You saw the nomenclature. If you have to add anything to these, feel free to do so while we post them. Oh, what are we playing? What is this
Circus.
game? Circus. I never played this. I've seen this game before.
Oh, yeah?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to put up a prediction right now. If you're not following us, click the follow button, get your standard internet unit points. You can unlock emotes, you can make us drink, you can request a factoid, but also you can gamble your points on Pride based on these questions. We're going to put up a question right now. Altruism evolved if individual survival decreases. I don't remember how I truncated this because we only have 42 characters. Is there anything, Bryce, you want to add contextually to this question? Altruism can evolve if individual survival decreases, yes or no. And so a lot of individual survival is dependent, or evolution is dependent on individual survival. But altruism can it evolve if individual survival cases decrease? That's reasonable? Without giving away too much or the answer? Man, I don't remember what the original wording was. 42 questions, cut this one.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
All right, so put your answers in now. You guys have about a minute and 15 seconds left, so feel free to answer those. What is this game? Here in the
All right, I like how they animated their butts.
Oh, man.
How much of my brain is invested in remembering how to play this?
Oh, my God. Isn't it fun, though, like to revisit some of these bad boys? Like, I'll just send you a link to the emulator for this, because it is... Some of these games are just so good. They were so simple, but wow, the hours of fun had on those. I've never seen this game. It's pretty good. Simple challenges. Matt isn't a Robert. I actually miss social distancing. I get weirded out by people being super close to strangers. I agree. As a mildly autistic introvert, I did enjoy my spatial separation from people. All right, you guys have about 15 seconds left. Altruism evolves if individual survival decreases, yes or no? Altruism, is it an evolutionary advantage, yes or no? So people get nicer if people are dying? That is one way to interpret that question. That is amazing. I appreciate that. Thank you. Man, I gotta go back. Misadventures just got 7 stream streak. Misadventures has joined us for 7 streams in a row, which is astounding for our stream because we don't stream often. We stream every 2 weeks. We've had a couple weeks in a row because we had a special guest last week, but also we had like the December. So Misadventures, thank you for the 7 stream streak. You also got to see 2 world record, or at least 1 world record in NARC speedrunning, 2-player speedrun. You got to see it over the holiday break, so thank you for joining us. All right, altruism evolves if individual survival decreases, yes or no? Bryce, what is the answer?
So even if your individual survival goes down, altruism can still evolve because there may be benefits to...
The answer is yes. Altruism can evolve if individual survival decreases.
So you think of the group effects. So the classic example of this is kin selection. where from the genes, from the point of view of my genes, there we go. It's always a little.
Nice.
It may make sense to sacrifice myself because, my genes live in, my offspring and
your siblings' offspring.
yes, that too. Was it? It's like Haldane who said something like, "I would sacrifice myself for." It was like 8 cousins and like 4 siblings or something like that. So taking the genes point of view, it's important.
So the name of this game, the formal name of this game on NES is Circus Charlie. 1984 NES game.
Uh-oh. I think this is the last level, so if I get through this, might as well.
I mean, that is a fundamental. I mean, one of the other questions I ask is like, what's a fundamental misunderstanding in your field or discipline, right? Thing that people just like cannot conceptualize correctly. And I mean, presumably this is one of them in your area, because like, there's people argue against evolution because, how could, collective cooperation exist if evolution was real? Or how could something like homosexuality exist if evolution is real? And there are collective behaviors that are advantageous that are not individually advantageous. I mean, is that's a reasonable summary of the...
Yes, actually, and related to this is like morality and social and like things like social norms. So I had a paper from my postdoc that looked at the evolution of evolution of social norms. Like, how do you get social norms? Oh well, I could have done worse.
Oh man, what is your guess of the speed run of beating all 5 of these challenges?
I imagine I was pretty close back in the day, but I was probably like only a few minutes.
It's 3 minutes and 25 seconds to beat Circus Charlie, all 5 challenges as quickly as possible.
Yeah, you can, like, especially in the level with the balls, you try to do more the hopping over a ball.
Yeah.
Don't stop like this.
The skips. All right, we're gonna pick something else.
Yeah, let's
you want
try
to do a
a
different
different
game?
Yeah.
Keep running through these.
Oh yeah.
Brings you back. I like it. All right, congratulations to anyone that said yes, altruism can evolve if individual survival decreases as long as collective survival increases, at least of the in-group. It's all about genetic information.
Actually, let's restart it. I don't want to do this one. I forgot that this is the 1-player version is not nearly as good. There's a 2-player version where you sword fight against each other.
Nice.
It just involves mashing of buttons.
Oh man, those are some of the best games. This is why Mario Party is so popular, because it's very simple games like this that people just love playing against each other. But yeah, if you guys have any last minute questions for Bryce, we're about 40 minutes away from closing the stream. We're probably 15 minutes away from starting some NARC, so it's good you're brushing up on the NES and the crippler that is this rectangular controller, because we will revisit that while we beat NARC as fast as we possibly can. Matt isn't a Robert. Even with the answer, I don't think I understand the question. How do we explain this question?
I guess the thing is, like, can altruism evolve if it's not beneficial to the individual themselves?
And what's fun is we have played this game on stream before. We played
Oh,
Popeye.
really?
This is like the original. This might be the NES version. We played the Atari version, which is very similar. But yeah, we have played this on the stream before. But yeah, if people misinterpret the sentence survival of the fittest, assuming the one person that wields the strongest axe is going to win everything and they're going to win evolution. But that is a very like myopic, non-collaborative view of what evolution is, because it is, does your genetic information survive? And so if you sacrifice yourself for a brother or sister and they have 20 kids, that is an evolutionary advantage despite you yourself dying in that process.
Yeah,
Is
exactly.
that's a fair assessment of the... And so that's why like certain individual sacrifices are acceptable if it collectively gets your genetic information forward and the reproduction increases of your group. So yeah, the survival of the fittest is not just the fittest individual, but the fittest collective genetic propagation of information. Man, so in your research, I mean, you have a unique perspective, is that you've gained expertise in both economics and biology. Which one's your favorite?
Oh,
You had to pick one of the two.
biology.
Biology is more fun. Why is that?
Yeah, why is that? I guess it's I guess economics is more, we have like the models more in oops.
Oof.
I did that to myself. There's more variety. You're not just talking about human behavior and human systems. You're looking at systems for different animals, which can be very,
It's just more interesting.
yeah, they can be, very complex and also very weird, like not things you're accustomed to. I mean, Wolbachia, for example, when I first heard about it, I was like, there are these bacteria that live inside these ants, and
Yeah, that's fair.
right, and like
That's
change
weird.
their behavior
That's
and things like that. Like that's really interesting.
Yeah. Much more counterintuitive and interesting behaviors, right? That's really fun. Is that Popeye? Yes, this is Popeye. What's it called in the 101 Jank
Popeye.
ripoff? It is Popeye.
It's Popeye.
All right. So they are not producing this in the U.S. because copyright infringement was not an issue. But yeah, this is Popeye. Was Popeye for the NES? I don't even remember. I know it was for the Atari. Popeye. Phonetic. Oh yeah, Popeye for the NES. Oh my god, I love the speed runs of these games because it's always like 3 minutes. It's just like they just boosted through everything. I don't know how they do it. That is Popeye. All right, so this discussion of game theory and decision making and humans don't necessarily fit the model. I mean, there's a lot of cultural and social impact in this decision-making process. So, like, if you're studying this in Japan versus the United States, you get very different outcomes. And so how do you deal with that? Well, both in terms of studying it and in terms of modeling it. You qualify it for a particular region, or how does that work?
No, I mean, I think it's important wrinkle to add into any model is that people's behavior will be different.
Mm-hmm.
I know some models that will look at different scenarios for like different norms,
Mm-hmm.
and they can be related to different cultural backgrounds. Like the different norms might be dominant, like ones with shame or things like that. And yeah, something definitely to think about. A lot of the experimental results that they have are not reflective of the whole of human behavior, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they have grad students or like undergrads, whatever, doing the experiments, that's who they're, that's who the studies are going to reflect.
Yeah.
And I think it's called weird, Western educated, industrialized something.
Weird.
Yeah.
Acronym. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's not gonna.
Keep doing this or something else.
Yeah, let's do something else. Joseph Heinrich has came up with that idea. Oh, which one should I do?
Oh, there's a Kung Fu, but you played Ninja, or did you play Kung Fu?
No, I played Spartan.
Spartan was the one.
This is something
I'm just
different.
curious. I'm. All right. Oh, misadventures. Western educated industrials, rich and democratic. That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
So do you add those qualifiers when you publish a paper modeling human behavior and decision making? Like you have to say regionally where this is relevant, or your model's general enough that that's not.
It's not something I generally mention, but it is something to think about.
What is this? It's the original Mortal Kombat, ladies and gentlemen. This walked so Mortal Kombat could run.
You can't just walk up to him and kick him or anything like that, right? It has to be just right.
This is amazing.
yeah, I can't just walk up to him because sometimes it doesn't
Man,
harm
I'm
him.
impressed you're remembering all these games. So you play the shit out of all
Oh, yes.
of these things. That is fun. All right, if you guys have questions for Bryce, he's happy to answer them. We are at the 30-minute mark. We only have 30 minutes left in the stream, so ask him anything about economics, biology, game theory, how you apply mathematics to model these complex systems, how differential equations are relevant to these types of modeling, and how broken humans might be and how they don't fit the models appropriately, while primates do. So yeah, interesting discussions throughout the night. If you guys have questions, put them in chat, and Bryce is happy to answer them. I'm gonna grab some more water. You're good on water? You're good on drink?
Yeah, both, I think.
All right.
Thank you. Just focusing. That's right.
Felt like it was getting a little warm in here because I didn't turn on the air conditioning. So I have a secondary air conditioner for this room, and it's because the lights in the computer over the course of 3 hours get very warm. And I have an air conditioner hooked up to the window that I did not turn on, but I did plug in. So I apologize. It's getting a little warm in here.
I just thought it was the intensity of the
The
gaming.
gameplay. Kung Fu will do that to you. Oh man, that is fun.
Well, that was
All right, so one of the other questions in retrospect, I should have left you with a question before I went to get water, but I'm not sober enough to do conscientious decision making. So nonetheless, question I'll ask you now is one of my favorites at the stream as well. Besides the movie one is unlimited budget, no moral qualms. What study would you do? So you could do an experimental game theory where it's life and death. You could, apply this to a massive population. What do you want to see the outcome of?
yeah, I think pretty much any of these experiments.
Jurassic Park, whatever it might be. Nice.
I would like to. What's the final boss? Doing well. I think I would like to ask just the basic replicator equation, like the survival of the fittest of doesn't have to be humans, it could be animals. I don't know if we could like parameterize the model in some way. So one thing about the hands are getting cramped.
Sounds right.
So the replicator equation is the canonical equation of evolution game theory. So it basically the way the equation works is that the growth rate or the increase of some. Okay.
Wow, that didn't count as a hit on him.
No, you have to just do it just right.
Wow, that is touchy. Holy crap.
I think my hands are just too cramped at this point.
That's a lot of activity. I appreciate that.
So I mentioned this with the truncation stuff before. Basically, the way it works is that the growth rate or the increase of the frequency of some strategy, which could be a phenotype, it could be a genotype, it could be a cultural trait too, and is related to the difference in its fitness and the average fitness in the population. Right. So if I get a higher payoff for my type than what's on average, then there's more of me next time. I suspect that isn't actually how things work.
But you'd like to test it.
Yeah, so I think that's something I would like to test. Like this truncation stuff was, like as I mentioned before, you're evolving, you're selecting for adequacy. And the replicator equation is not that. So if I have twice the fitness of you, I have twice as many offspring. I guess, yeah, something I would be interested in understanding is how realistic is the replicator equation as a model of biology, culture, evolution, anything like that.
So how would you set that up experimentally? You have a budget, you got to pay people.
I guess you could think of like some kind of animals that have that whose behaviors can represent some strategy. Yeah, I'm not sure how you'd set that up, but basically I would like that. Like it's like the equation we use for everything.
Yeah.
And it's related to Bayes' rule. It is essentially the continuous time version of a Bayesian updating process.
But it hasn't been explicitly tested in a system. I guess it's been...
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, in terms of like game theory,
Yeah.
evolution game theory, I don't know that it has. So that's the thing I wonder about. All of our models use this. Are we right to do so?
Is it foundationally flawed?
Yeah.
Oh my God, how devastating is that if you find out that's wrong?
That'd be interesting.
It'd be interesting to say the least. 100 years of literature out the window. Oh, Donkey Kong, look at that. Classic. Oh, this is legit Donkey Kong Jr.
Oh, come on.
Oof. Oof. All right, we have about, I don't know, 5 minutes before we start NARC. So, man, was there anything on the list? I didn't ask you a whole lot of these questions, but you're a mathematician. I should probably ask, what's your favorite equation? I'll expand that to favorite equation, inequality, or algorithm. Do you have a favorite, any of those?
Yeah, I was thinking about this beforehand. In terms of theorems, the Sharkovsky one I mentioned before,
Yeah,
is one I kind of like.
And that's not necessarily for research purposes. That's just the elegance of it you like.
Yeah, I mean, it does actually show up in my research, but
Oh, it does. Wow.
Yeah, favorite.
Oh no.
I was being impatient.
Yeah. That's how these games get you. You seen King of Kong, Fistful of Quarters?
No.
The documentary going after the Donkey Kong world record? It is spectacular. It is surprisingly entertaining, and I strongly recommend it to anyone that hasn't seen it. It's King of Kong, Fistful of Quarters. It has bad guys, it has good guys, it has everything you hope to see in a storytelling mechanism, and it's amazing. But it's the original Donkey Kong. Billy is a goof. Oh, lol. Yes, absolutely. Billy Mitchell, the bad guy in that movie, is amazing.
Yeah, maybe the replicator equation is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Even though I was criticizing questioning how realistic it might be, just that it shows up in so many things that I do.
Man, that's crazy that it's so foundational and yet doesn't have definitive support.
I don't trust them to come this way.
Nice. GG's. We should pop up one more prediction as we transition to NARC. Which one do you want to do? You did the last one. That's a fun throwback to the start of the stream.
Okay, yeah.
3 hours ago. We're gonna put one up for you guys. We're gonna put up a prediction. If you're not following us, click the follow button. Get a bunch of internet points. Do them just for fun. All right, we're gonna pop up a question for you guys right now. A prediction, as it were. All right. So, Bryce originally what? Just growing up on the TV. Error creating the prediction. Please try again. What the hell? is it showing up for you guys? Are you seeing the prediction on your screen? Yeah, it told me there was an error. Anyway, great. Growing up, Bryce wanted to be, and so this is like 10-year-old Bryce wanted to be a physicist or a paleontologist, which, based on his gameplay, based on his Kung Fu and Donkey Kong gameplay, what do you think Bryce wanted to be when he was younger, a paleontologist or a physicist? The answer was not a mathematician or an economist or a biologist. Instead, it was either a paleontologist or a physicist. Which one did he want to be? Put your predictions in there now. Depending on your degree of confidence, bet your internet points accordingly. All right, we're going to switch over to NARC while you guys do your prediction. You guys have about a minute left to make this prediction. We are going to do NARC. And so before you press start, Bryce, I think it's very important. One, we set up the clock because you're racing against your colleagues. Got a live split timer. Do you want to see the clock or not see the clock? It's up to you if you want to see.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
All right, I'll leave the timer
seeing.
over here in the corner. And also, let me pop this back up again. It's important you know the lore. And so there's the original NARC NES cartridge.
Oh, wow.
No one had the guts until now. You are Max Force. Your mission: bust Mr. Big and destroy his dreaded criminal empire, seize all contraband, stolen money, illegal weapons, use rocket bombs, high-powered machine guns, apprehend all suspects, protect the innocent, punish the guilty, stop at nothing. And so, just say no license. But did you have to do the DARE program when you were young?
No.
The DARE to keep. Okay, it's a very U.S. centric thing, but it was terrible. But this is a byproduct of that. Go ahead and press start. I'm going to start the clock as soon as you hit the ground running. I'm going to make the clock so everyone else can see it. Give me a second. All right, there you go. You're racing against your colleagues. Your job is to go to right as quickly as possible. There's no advantage of killing anyone. Every time you go up and down, it slows you down a little bit. Every time you get shot,
why am I doing that?
A little bit. Hold A, it's bullets. Tap A, it's rockets. Hold B is jump. There's the door right there. Hold B is squat. Tap B is jump. And so you might want to practice the jump and the rockets just because, you know, it's worth practicing. So less than 7 frames on the B button is a jump. Less than 7 frames on the A button is a rocket. Those are going to become very important later in the race. All right, Bryce, what did you want to be, a paleontologist or a physicist?
Oh, wait, you're asking me now.
Yep.
Paleontologist.
Paleontologist. And so what inspired young Bryce to want to be a paleontologist? Was it Jurassic Park?
Dinosaurs. It's before Jurassic Park.
Before Jurassic Park, you were inspired. You wanted to, I mean, dinosaurs are cool. Hit the slot, and then go in the door. See, it's a very realistic game. All right, congratulations to those of you that said paleontologist. Congratulations on your 1.17 to 1 payout. You seem like more of a paleontologist than a physicist. I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult, but that is what the audience feels about you. All right, so yeah, keep going right. Yeah, I would tap the jump button just to practice it a whole bunch.
Let's jump again.
That's tapping B. Infinitive infinite bullets, you're fine. You will respawn indefinitely. But yeah, get used to the tapping B, tapping A, because that will come back to bite you at some point. So congratulations to all those of you that said paleontologist, because dinosaurs are cool. Matt isn't a Robert. So many kids love gravity more than dinosaurs. Contra, it's been a while. Welcome back. Greetings, Docs. Missing you lately. Hope you're both doing well tonight. I think we're having a good time. All right, so here you're going to shoot the guys wearing black at close range with bullets. So let them get close to you, and you'll shoot them with bullets. So yeah. So kill him, close range, bullets, holding A, kill that guy. There you go, blue card. All right, hit that thing. Right, get through the door. Perfect. Man, how are you feeling about NARC so far?
Good.
I mean, you're quite vetted in NES games, so this doesn't seem off the wall gameplay. Yeah, those that started with PlayStation, they have no idea how terrible these games were back in the day. But this is something we grew up on, so it's perfectly acceptable. But yeah, Contra, welcome back. Thank you for joining us. If you have questions for Bryce, we're talking about game theory, economics, biology, applied systems. Applied mathematics, wanting to be a paleontologist and then failing downwards to mathematics. Get in the car, press jump.
How do I do it?
Tap B. There you go.
Oh.
All right, stay on the bottom. Go down. Keep going. You're going to run into bombs. It's fine. Keep walking right. This is walk the bridge, the level. So go right indefinitely, and we will get to where we're going. But yeah, if any of you guys have questions, we have about 15 minutes left in the stream. Also, if you have suggestions on people we should raid, throw those in chat now. We will visit them at some point. Wednesday night, not a whole lot of guests. Speaking of which, do you have to teach tomorrow?
Wait, what day is tomorrow? Thursday? Yes.
Yep. What time?
Oh, like 11:30.
Oh, that's not too bad. Thankfully, it's not 8 a.m. The reason I do Wednesday, tap B to jump. Yep. And it's worth practicing the B tap because it's going to come back to bite you later. So tap B and then rocket in the air. In fact, you can shoot this helicopter if you get the timing right. So tap B and then A, that'll help you out a whole lot later. The reason I do Wednesday streams is typically I teach Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and either at noon or 8 a.m. So it's one of those. Tuesday, Thursday is the best recovery day for me. But yeah. All right, favorite equation. I mean, we got a favorite theory. Do you have a particular equation you like to use?
I said the replicator equation.
The replicator equation.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Sure,
We have an
let's do
answer.
that.
Have you rated Ultrasaurus or Draw Curiosity in a while? No, I haven't rated Draw Curiosity. They're typically off. I don't know who Ultrasaurus is. I'm going to look that up. Ultrasaurus is a spectacular name. Bryce, what is your video gaming name? Do you have a modern video gaming name?
Wait, what's a
Just
what's
like a profile you have for online gaming or anything like that?
Prudlandus?
What is it?
Prudlandus.
What is that?
That's the Norman version of. What's it again? Of Roland.
Stay on the bottom, go up to the top, or the white line. You'll hit a bridge, or you'll hit a garbage can, jump over it, keep going right. There you go.
It's a Frankish version of the name Roland.
Oh,
From
that's
the Song of Roland, which is an epic poem.
fun. That is much more elegant than most made-up video game names. 420 Blaze It, XXX. I appreciate that. Oh, Contra knows. I know the Song of Roland. That's fun. Small world. All right, so you're going to jump in the car, stay on the bottom of the screen, and go till basically the end. If you hit select, you could turn the car around and still go right. Fun fact for those of you not familiar with this game. All right, then through the door. I remember doing it on a program with Robin and Marina. The Song of Roland. I don't know who Robin and Marion? Robin and Marion? Sorry if I got that correct. Clowns with knives. Jump
Yeah,
over
what the heck?
guys. Robin Hood. Okay. Oh, Robin and Marion. Robin Hood. I see. I completely missed that. I apologize. All right. What else didn't I ask you that you want to be asked? Biggest misconceptions in your field? That could be very broadly defined. Biggest misconceptions about game theory and its application. Let's start with that. That door right there. Go right. You're going to find a silver card on the ground. Grab that silver card, go up, but don't press up too much.
Oh.
Okay, go through again. And don't press up after you go through the door.
Gotcha. What was the question again?
Misconceptions in your field. So go left. See that slot right there, silver card. You just got to get it in there and then through the door. And you are done with the level. Congratulations. All right, biggest misconception was something like a casual observer might not understand about, the applied mathematics or, this applications of game theory or whatever it might be.
I think one big one is that you can model human behavior and like things like social norms. It seems like a social science type of thing you
You're
can
going to
do.
go left on this level. And so instead of shooting, wait till they come close to you and you're going to shoot those guys with bullets. So hold A when they're near. And turn around and shoot them. One of those guys is going to drop a green card. So shoot the guy in white. Turn around and shoot that green guy. Then shoot the guy in white. It's a 1 in 4 chance. This is a probabilistic model, unfortunately. Oh, there you go. Green card. All right, grab that, go through the door, and you are done with this level. All right, misconception. Sorry. You are focused on
Yeah,
this. You're serious.
yeah.
You're taking this seriously. I appreciate it.
I think it's the can you actually model irrationality or human behavior with mathematics? Like doing like social science stuff, right? So sometimes when I tell people what I do, they think, oh, that sounds like social science, sociology. They don't expect it to be quantitative, but there's quantitative ways to understand it, or ways that are like theoretical that don't use real data, right? Like you can use axioms and theorems to understand sociological things.
I mean, so there are thresholds of human behavior modeling. So like you can model human like traffic in cars, or like going out of a shopping mall with fluid dynamics equations, right?
Yes.
Like you can do it in big data sets. But when you start to narrow down on individual decision making, that entirely falls apart. Is that the
Well, you can still do it individually. It's just difficult. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you can.
It just doesn't follow the predicted models, at least of rational decision making.
Yeah, like mathematical sociology sounds weird to a lot of people.
I mean, but is it getting better? Oh, you have that card already. So
I do.
Yep. You have the red. You have the next card as well. So go right. I think it's 2 more doors where you have the card. I mean, so does that generally leave you frustrated at the end of the day, just the complexity, or is that the intriguing thing that?
No, it's intriguing. Yeah.
I mean, that's at the core of what you do, presumably. Nice on the dog. That was good. It's at least the second game where you've beaten up dogs. Which will be on YouTube forever. That's a lot of fun.
And I'm also beating up clowns, so.
I mean, yeah, it's clowns with knives. That's forgivable. Fun fact, everyone, if you haven't been to Florida State University, we have a circus tent and a circus on campus, which is awesome. Have you gone to the circus yet?
No.
Oh man, I strongly recommend it. When your kid's a little older, like 4 or 5, it's going to be an awesome experience. And the thing I like most about FSU Circus is, like, if you go to a Cirque du Soleil show, they're going to land it, right? They're going to be the best in the world at what they do. If you go to an FSU Circus, you have Joe business major doing circus stunts, and it is amazing. If they land it, it's the best thing in the world. If they miss, you didn't necessarily expect them to land, so it's a good time. All right. What did I not ask you that I should? What is your airplane conversation like?
Now, how do I get to this gold door?
Okay, so this guy you're going to shoot with rockets, the guy in the wheelchair. So tap A. A little gentler. Yep. It's one of those, don't press it as hard, is probably going to get you there. So yeah, kill everything on screen. Then yeah, you're going to shoot him with rockets. Yeah, you're pressing a little too much or too long or too hard. Oh, there you go. Oh, there you go. That's one. So you need to do that twice more. All right, you're on an airplane. Someone asks you what you do. What is your answer? I'm a mathematician.
And I model human behavior.
And then they say, what? What is the typical response to that?
I think they usually think there's probably like some data. I'm collecting data.
Oh, interesting. They'll go so far as to ask, what are you modeling, or what data set is of interest?
Yeah, they might think. I think they'll think that, and I'm like, no, it's just all make believe. I just have equations and.
Oh, nice. There you go. All right, that's 2. All right, he'll do 1 more. So kill everybody on screen. Yeah, get used to tapping A. You might be pressing the button too hard. Like, you don't have to press it down all the way. Oh, there you go. Now you got the rhythm. All right, he's back. Ah, that's 3. All right, you're going to pick up the gold card, and we are on to the next phase of Mr. Big. Perfect. All right, so they want to know particular applications of your modeling.
I think so.
And then you tell them
It's abstract. I have no real data. And I just try to
nothing I do is real.
make up models and
Go to
then.
the top of the screen.
All right.
And you're going to do a jump rocket into the hat. So jump, and then a little later, rocket. Yeah, that was a good rocket, but a little later on that. Time not looking too shabby. This is the great equalizer. I told Bryce earlier, this is the moment. So you can go to the right, get some distance. This is what the war on drugs looked like in the 1980s. All right, let's turn around, jump rocket. Yep. So on the way down, you're going to hit a rocket. A little gentler on the A. Don't press it down. There. Oh, that was close. That was a really nice rocket. A little earlier. That's close. There it is. All right, rocket to the face. No more jumping. Just tap A's.
Oh.
There you go. All right, down here, go between these two black lines, and you're going to use bullets. No more rockets, just hold A. Turn back, hold A. He's going to come down, 2 vertebrae. One more. All right, now you're going to run the other way. So the strategy here is going to be get a little bit away from him, shoot bullets, and move up and down a little bit. That sounds dumb, but that's what you're going to do. So try to stay between these two black lines here. Oh, there you go. All right, one more. Nice. Go right. That is an excellent time. We are flying. This is Savvy Gaming. We just saw that Bryce had played 110 shitty games on NES, so he was prepared for this one. All right, civil forfeiture the level. You don't need to grab gold. Just keep going right. You're trying to get to the door as quickly as possible. GG's. All right, get through the... All right, 15 minutes and 9 seconds is your time.
All right.
On Ask Scientist Gaming. Contra, thank you for the tier 1 subscription. Subscribes for 16 months. We really appreciate your support. You're really just helping our drinking habit, which we appreciate. We had some old fashions as well as some Adventinus Wesson Doppelbock, a Hefeweizen from Germany, an imported beer, which is pretty spectacular. Oh, man. Oh, there it is. You got to put your credits in, and you won the war on drugs and did it in 15 minutes and 9 seconds. So let's see where you sit on the spectrum of guests. Yeah, that was good. I enjoyed the drinks tonight. I really appreciate it. I love a good bourbon. All right. So let's see where you are on the scoreboard. I have an Excel spreadsheet that's documented all my guests beating NARC as quickly as possible. You are 119. What is it? Morse.
SKY.
More.
MORSKY.
More. No E. All right. Math. Your time was 15:09. All right. 15:09 is a pretty remarkable time. That is going to put you in the top 3. That puts you at number 3.
Nice.
Of all the guests. That is an excellent time. I didn't expect it to be top 3, but holy crap. 15:09, you did it. That hat off the head was a equalizer. Let's look up some of the others. Oh man, I should actually share this. If you guys want to see this in stream, let me see if I can move to HD 60. Sorry, I got to make it so you guys can see. There we go. All right, there's our collection. So at 15:09, that puts Bryce just behind Christian Hubicki, who was our guest 3 weeks ago. He was the one that was on Survivor. Tommy Usek from Linguistics. He actually studies linguistics with AI and how the usage of certain words and things like that. And then Jack Justice in philosophy. Who's your closest? You might recognize some of these people. I know we have Bargoff was on.
Oh, yeah.
20 minutes 59, so you got bragging rights on him.
Nice. Suck
A
it.
few people from biology. Robert Vinches. Hank Bass was on. He does corn biology. Steve Leonard, second time on, 23. So yeah, no, that's a remarkable time. Your years of playing really crappy Nintendo games finally paid off. It really is worth it. Contra and Misadventures, thank you for the bits. We really appreciate it. I thank you for joining us as always. The questions are fun. The discussions are fun. We really enjoy the conversations. Look at me now, Mom. I mean, this has to go in your tenure package, right? I mean, top 3 amongst FSU faculty that have been on the stream is no joke. I really appreciate it. All right, all. Thank you for joining us. Stick around. We're going to raid somebody educational related. I'm going to check out who's on. But Bryce, it's been a pleasure. Thank you. It's been a lot of fun playing video games, talking, mathematics as applied to biology and economics, and game theory is always a fun thing to discuss. Any parting words for the audience? Anything you want the general public to know about your discipline or anything in general?
I guess one parting word would be there's a lot of opportunities in math, like to do research. And when I first went into undergrad and then even as I was considering grad school, I never really considered math because I didn't think there was a lot of opportunities to be very creative with stuff in math. And I didn't realize the rich applications there were. And there are, in biology and sociology, economics, but also like pure math. There's tons of things to do. So I recommend math.
And that's no joke. As an experimentalist in chemistry, there are so many things that I do not have the tool set to model certain behaviors, and it's something the expertise in mathematics is absolutely amazing to have. So we appreciate everything you do, and we'll figure out some way to collaborate in the future. I don't think molecules have decision-making processes, but nonetheless, we really appreciate it, and thank you very much for joining me. It's been a lot of fun. Journeying through to a whole bunch of different games was a lot of fun, and so thank you again. All right, so I better bring up next guest. We're back on normal schedule. The rest of the semester until early May, we're going to have, or I guess late May in this case, we're going to have a guest every 2 weeks on the stream. Our next guest on February 25th is going to be Dr. Kimberly Van Wielden. And she's from the College of Music, and she actually does music education. And so not just education in terms of students, but educational training for people. So things like musical therapy, also geriatric vocal pedagogy and wellness, like going to nursing homes and how you can increase brain activity using music as an educational tool. I don't know what she's going to play. She's not much of a gamer, but she agreed to be on anyway, so we're going to figure it out. But nonetheless, join us in 2 weeks. We are going to have a music education expert on. And so, with that, hopefully we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Bryce, thank you again. It's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it. Congratulations on your NARC time. Top 3 among our 119 guests, no joke. So you earned it. Your years of balloon and kung fu have really paid off. So if nothing else, we have that going for us. Make her play Rock Band. We can play Rock Band. He was hacking. Did you cheat on NARC? Not on my emulator, but maybe. He did have Game Genie codes in. So, but anyway, thank you all for joining us. We're going to see you guys in hopefully in 2 weeks when we have our music education expert on. But again, we'll have guests every 2 weeks. Check us out on Twitter or Discord if you haven't joined us already. You guys can see the schedule through at least mid-May we have covered. So I'll figure out the summer after that. But yeah. Bryce, thank you again. It has been a pleasure. It's been an awesome time. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.